Mob Rules is filmed in front of a live studio audience. That's why I don't get to write the intro bits. I just don't want.
I feel sorry for that audience.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, it's live right now, and I think the reaction is about as accurate a reaction as we would get.
It's just one person in the background. Yay!
It's one person in the background asking if they can enter the room to let the dogs out. Is our standard Mob Rules audience.
I thought this was the audience for the Tonight Show. Can I get a refund on my ticket?
Oh man, yeah, I saw the building where Jimmy Fallon films his little show when I was on vacation last week.
In Burbank?
No, it's on Hollywood Boulevard. No, Jimmy Fallon. Shit, no, Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought Jimmy Fallon was in New York.
No, Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, so it's on like Hollywood Boulevard, which is the saddest place on earth.
Keep this totally on topic. Did you know that Jimmy Fallon actually plays 40K?
What?
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true.
Totally.
All right.
It's a big thing that they used to do backstage at SNL. Look it up. Google it.
I mean, I'm going to because I don't believe you.
That's true.
I know what's his face plays 40K, the Graham Sheeran dude, the little ginger singer guy.
Oh yeah, he was building
Ed
Space Marines.
Sheeran.
Yeah, Graham Sheeran. I'm with it. I'm cool. I am John.
It's been a long 2 weeks.
It has. I'm John, joined as always by
Dave
and Danny.
And we're back for another episode here. And it has been a long 2 weeks. I spent a week of it away sunning myself on Western California. Danny, you played some games. Dave, I'm assuming you assembled and painted a Primaris Lieutenant, as you are to do.
I mean, that happened.
That actually did happen.
See, it's funny.
I mean, part of that happened. I painted one, but he was already assembled.
It's funny because I said it like jokingly because everyone makes a joke about Primaris Lieutenants, but I had the inside knowledge that you did, in fact, paint a Primaris Lieutenant. So what did you get up to this couple weeks, Dave?
Oh, man, I have been super busy, actually. I bought the last box I needed to complete my 2K tournament army for ITC tournaments up here, and then promptly managed to not get them built. So I missed out on the tournament that I was looking forward to, but at the same token, I was pretty wiped out after Thanksgiving. This last tournament was last Saturday. It was like 16 people or something. Yep. Danny played in it, so
that's a pretty good turnout for like right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I did some Black Friday shopping. Picked up a train set so I could repaint that for my nephew. Working on.
I was gonna make a joke and said you picked up a train set, ha ha ha, but no, you actually did say train set. So yeah. Good job.
I make sure to include set at the end of everything that I say when I involve train, because you guys are assholes. So, but no, I painted Celestine up. I'm really happy with the way she came out.
Yeah, she looked really good. Like the wings were super good on that.
I liked her face and her little glowing eyes.
Yeah, well, it's so from a distance, it just looks like she's got two black eyes. Like she mouthed off to Gulaman one too many times, and he just slapped her. Domestic violence isn't funny, folks. Even though Danny's laughing, it's not. It's a serious issue.
Speak for yourself.
I like it. It follows my rule of looking great from at least 3 feet away.
Oh, it looks better up close. That's the problem.
Oh, really? Because
the face looks amazing up close, but you have to get up close to it. So, unless somebody's going to lean down to the table and be like, "Hey, look at the, oh wow, those eyes really glow. It's pretty." But from a distance, it doesn't translate well. I think the blue I used was a little too dark for the glow, but other than that, I'm really happy. I love the way the doves came out, and I will admit the only part of that model that I did not paint using my own ideals was in fact the doves.
The armor and the face and the hair.
Nope.
And then the guns and the wings. But you did
all of those.
Firmly install it in a Citadel butt plug.
That's true. I had to. That damn thing is so wobbly. I needed that extra.
It does wobble.
Yeah, because like I've assembled that Celestine, and even like just holding her and putting on like the hair or whatever, it's floating, and it's like every time you touch it, it vibrates more than a goddamn like spring.
It's I felt like I was working with one of those remote control dildos, like you use, John.
No.
Meanwhile, I don't see what happens with it, so yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
All I know is I press a button.
Screaming happens.
Yeah. A remote control what?
No, I painted, the very last thing I painted was the scrolls because I had to actually, I held the handle in the palm of my hand and was able to hold onto the scrolls with my fingers to stabilize it, because otherwise it was just
You didn't
going to
use
look like a 3-year-old painted it.
You didn't use the Citadel butt plug with nipple clamps to hold all that in
No,
place?
I don't own one of those. I don't. My nipples don't sag low enough yet that I need that support. So, extra hilt, sure,
Extra hilt.
sure, but the rest of that stuff, no.
You know,
The
there's a good-
girthiest paint handle we produce is something they have to put on the box there.
it was specially made for Dave.
Yeah. So no, I'm happy with the way she came out. She's going to make a great centerpiece for that army. And then I worked on my Secret Santa. Up here we do that. We do a Secret Santa miniature project where you paint something for somebody. And I drew Dardamus, who is a staunch member of the Black Templar community, although he has a special scheme. So I had to trick him earlier into explaining the special scheme to me by saying, whoever gets you is going to need to know what your scheme is. So you should post a bunch of pictures of your stuff. And then in the end, I almost ignored it completely.
Yeah. I mean, it's Black Templars, right?
Yeah.
Is your special scheme black with white pauldrons?
It's all the accoutrements instead of being
Oh,
normal silver and everything else. He runs a different thing. He runs like red cloth around the guys and stuff like that.
That sounds like it, you
Yeah.
should go in and repaint that himself.
Yeah. So I painted that up for him, and I did.
John the shitty Santa gifter. What do you play, orcs? Here's an
some advice.
ultramarine.
Yeah. Not everybody can get a fancy Reaver Imperial Fist Reaver set for Christmas, John.
I know. I got that last year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wesley, one of the local guys, made me. He got me like a little ice rink scene from the Villages.
Oh.
And then painted up a bunch of Imperial Fists that went on there, like ice skating, like the Reavers. And there's like a little bridge that came with grots, like sitting watching the Reavers ice skate. It was
Aw.
wonderful. I
Yeah.
loved that.
That's beautiful.
He's going to bring it out this Christmas and use it as decorations.
And I for the one I did last year was I built Matt shirtless Grey Knight.
Oh, right, the oiled up Grey
the,
Knight.
the oiled up shirtless Grey Knight, where I
Nice.
used a torso from a Zangor on Assault Marine legs and gave him a Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield, and like used a Melta Bomb as a power pack on the back and put some cabling around to attach to the Storm Shield and Thunder Hammer, and then swear to God, like 8 or 9 layers of ard coat just on the chest and abs, just so it was
So they
extra
glisten.
shiny.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I took a box of Reavers because I have so many Primaris that I'm never going to use, including Reavers, and I broke them up into an advent calendar for him so that he opens every day.
Oh, great, a
he'll open-
Reaver.
He'll open, no, it's an arm.
It's just one model.
No, it's a 5-man squad, but it's so that he has to, when you open an advent calendar, like a Lego advent calendar,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get that.
You gotta
There's
assemble it.
like a little piece of the instructions with it, so you can glue it to your next piece, so you can build each one as they
See,
as
if
go
you
along.
were
You
a
glue
real
together your Legos?
No, I'm just saying in
fucking
general.
monster. If you were a real man,
Yeah.
you would send like piece 1 would have the instructions for piece 25, and they would
not a-
slowly go
oh,
and then like
God.
meet in the middle.
I'm not a dick.
So like day 3 has instructions for like a grot like plasma cannon, just a completely different kit.
Do you like
Here, I'm
razor file
just a-
off the feet
Just a dick.
so you have to
John.
glue together pieces that don't normally that go together?
Yeah.
It's gonna make a giant diorama when he's finished. Reaver's
Sweet.
delivering presents to all the good girls and boys of Nihilist 7 or something.
Oh.
No, that's nice. Except they're delivering knives
Bullets,
and bullets.
Well,
Yeah.
those can be gifts.
shot grenades.
I'd be happy if I got shot
I
grenades
would love
as a
it. So
present.
if you have like a Reaver and like he goes up to a guy, sneaks behind him, like stabs him in the neck, and the guy starts going, and he's like, shh, 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 shh. It's a present.
And then I threw in one of the Japanese blind boxes that I have multiples of.
nice.
Ooh.
So I gave that to him as fast as possible, and he was like, well, "How come you giving this to me so soon?" I was like, "Because I will fuck it up if I keep looking at it. Because I will go, oh, I can fix this, or I can fix this. The next thing you know, it doesn't look anything like a Black Templar.
It
looks
looked
like,
really good, Dave, by the way.
I'm really happy with it. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping
no,
it
they look super good.
tried to do a nice.
Like between that and Celestine, like I can really tell how far along your painting has come. Like
Yeah.
you've gotten a lot better.
So
Since the last time I saw you paint something.
yeah,
When was
lesson
the last
kids.
time you saw me paint something?
If you start your own
Those
YouTube,
purple Marines.
Those look good. Well, okay,
I mean-
the intercessors don't, but the aggressors look great.
They're all right. Yeah, the aggressors were good.
yeah. But there you go. Just to improve your painting, you just need to start a YouTube channel showing you how to paint.
How not to paint, because I don't. So sorry, guys. Not to, a little behind the curtains. I don't actually paint like I paint on Tabletop Plus. So shocking.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, sorry to lift it up there. I'm not Ted, so I don't like to spend 17 hours painting a model.
I mean, no one likes that, but it's the eventual outcome
Yeah,
that
really?
looks amazing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've been up to.
Sweet.
I'm
Dan.
good.
Danny, what you been up to?
Yeah, so I've been building orc models. This last week I built 25 Ludus and 40 Grots.
You mean you built 25 Ludas and 40 Luda shields?
Yeah, right.
Wait, aren't grots individually already built? You just got to glue them to a base.
3 of them in the kit are already completely assembled, and then the other ones you have to glue on heads, except for one of them that's multi-part, and you can either pick to glue on 2 arms holding a stick bomb or a pistol and a pointy finger.
Oh, pistol pointy finger every time, man. Come on.
No, dude, that stick bomb is badass. He looks like he's lifting it above his head like a barbell.
Yeah. I did pointy finger on all mine when I could, just because it looked like the monkey from Family Guy.
Oh, it does look
It's
like
just
that.
like pointing evilly.
It is.
Ooh, I get you. And no, really, because he's a grot.
That's fair.
So I played a game of 40K with Nate, which was fun. Had a good time playing against his Tau.
Ooh, was that your narrative?
No, that was ITC, just
was
a practice game, right?
Yeah, it was just a practice
Oh, okay.
game. We haven't done another round of narrative stuff yet. It's hard to right now with the holidays and everything going on.
Yeah.
So we might put a pin in it, especially for right now, especially since Chapter Approved is coming out and they've previewed some of the stuff that's going to be in it, like the
0
character
point
design
lieutenants.
rules. Yeah, 0 point and 100-point reduction on repulsors.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Sadly, the last talent or the last cannons on there have like 100-point increase.
Yeah.
So while
Twin
the
las
base
cannons
tank-
are 100 points now.
Well, was the base tank's cheaper? The weapons are all twice the price. It's a wash.
So the net gain for me, if they increased and decreased that way, would still be like a 45-point cheaper repulsor overall.
No, because the repulsor engine itself to make it float is 140 points.
I don't need them to move. They could just be like rapier battle line things, right? Tarantulas.
They would be a lot less good if they couldn't fly, John.
That's true. Thank you for calling.
I mean, Dave, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah,
It's
I
been a
agree
long
with
day.
you.
Yeah. So anyway, back to 40K. Let's talk about the games that I played. So I played in a tournament this last weekend with orcs. I was pretty happy to do that. First game I played my perennial opponent John Miller.
Oh, your perennial first round max point win.
So he gets so frustrated. It's been like the last 3 tournaments in a row, and we often play first round. Like I would say, at least 30% of the time we play first round.
Poor kid psychs himself out as well. As soon as
as soon as he sees it's
so
you.
Danny and John Miller. Oh well, looks like you got a first round win, Danny. I'm like, dude, you haven't even seen his arm.
Which I laugh. I laugh and I go, yeah, probably. So like, because he's like 15-1 against me right now. It's really bad.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
1 in 15.
No, I mean, yeah, he's 1-15. Yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right.
I was like,
sorry, I am 15-1
Yeah,
against
okay.
John.
I was like, wow.
Is what I meant.
Miller's kicking your ass if it was 15 and 1.
No, I can only think of the one time that I've lost to him in a tournament. Anyway,
Was it the time you drove rhinos on top of a building?
no,
in
I
7th
won.
edition?
I fucking won the shit out of that game.
Yeah, I know, but I just like bringing that up every chance I get.
So that was a fun game. Like it was pretty good. He was so frightened of the Ludas that he castled all of his blood angels back into the corner.
Oh, no.
And like so he had his.
Isn't that the opposite of what you have to do against Ludus?
So he gave me total board control. And so
Doesn't he have deep striking stuff too?
he had a unit of sanguinary guard.
Oh, okay.
But basically I pushed everything in the corner so he only could deep strike into his own deployment zone. And he had to bring him on turn 2, otherwise I was going to overrun all of his lines.
Yeah.
So that game was pretty brutal. Ludas weren't super influential in that game.
No, it seems like they were. I mean,
Well, I mean,
maybe
they
not
dictated
dice-wise, but
yeah, like actually killing wise, they didn't kill much, but they dictated the course of the battle, which was important.
Yeah. Psychologically, they made him very worried.
Now, game 2, I played against Nate and his Tau. So this was I won the roll off, so I was super excited and I cheered. And then he sees the initiative and I booed. Which I was sad because he has like a 50 Fire Warrior, 2 Heavy Burst Cannon, Riptide, / 3 Broadsides.
Like the idea is just to drown you in dice, pretty much, right?
Yep, and he's got Farsight, so all of his dudes are rerolling ones against orcs.
neat.
Yeah, so, and they're not all, what is it called? Farsight Enclaves. Like, it's mostly Tau Sept, but, excuse me, there was enough of them. Like, all the heavy stuff is that. Anyway, so he goes first, kills 22 out of 30 boys, like, right off the bat. And I was like, well, okay, that's not the worst thing ever. The war boss broke some heads, kept him in line.
Yeah.
Killed, I don't know, like 10 grots or something shooting at Ludas, and I didn't lose any Ludas. So, next turn, I use the boy stratagem, the Green Tide, to bring back that entire unit of boys on his side of the table, and then also deep strike in, or like I did to jump a whole other unit of 30 boys, like in the front of his army, and failed both of my 8-inch charges.
Ow.
So those guys all died. Well, one squad totally died, and the other squad like did a little bit of damage
I was
before
going
they
to say 60 boys with T-shirt saves within rapid fire distance of an entire Tau Sept
Yeah,
army.
God, I mean it's
Greater for the greater good.
So then, yep.
Excuse me.
Just gonna fail my
John,
shot.
your toilet humor is
On point.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So then my turn 2, I brought in my commandos on the flank, like behind a building, and they executed a bunch of fire warriors, and then basically they ran the entire board. Like one unit of commandos got into his lines and was able to mop up like I would say 8 or 9 units just by themselves.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a unit of 15 units, and then I mobbed up. But the real damage in this game came from the stuff that killed all the heavy hitters were the Ludas. The Ludas first turn killed with shoot twice. They killed a Riptide with drone protection. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to shoot the drones. I'm just going to shoot the Riptide and see what happens. So I shot at it, killed all of the drones through attrition, and then also did like 3 wounds to it. And then I shot them again and killed the Riptide outright.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Which was really brutal. Nate's like, okay, cool, so orcs shoot better than me now.
Oh no, it's more fuel for his Tau Suck.
Yeah, but like after he saw how much damage he did on turn 1 and 2, he was like, yeah, this army's probably pretty good against orcs, like in general.
Yeah,
So-
it's just when you close that gap down that they really suffer. But yeah, orcs, if you can't get that gap closed turn 1, maybe turn 2, then you're going to be shot off the table.
Well, let me tell you, when I deep struck those orcs and they tried to charge the Tau Sept lines, and I lost, I think I lost like 12 boys, just in Overwatch.
That's insane.
It was brutal.
Yeah. So you're going into game 3 up.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah,
2 wins
I'm
going into
2
game
wins.
3?
I'm going in the first seat position. But that game was pretty short. It didn't run entirely at a time. But that was against a Space Wolf player. I seized the initiative in this one, actually. But I didn't
Makes me
end
cry
up.
every time it happens to me because it's like, it's like a 1 in 6 chance. It never. Oh, okay. Neat.
I didn't do that much damage to him. Ultimately, the first round, the second round, he brought his wolf in, because I shot the wolf in and killed like 3 of them or something like that with the Ludas, and then he brought his wolf in around the other way, and I only got 1 shot apiece with all of the Ludas, like even with the reroll. So a D3, I rolled a 1, rerolled to a 1, which was sad.
So sad.
It is so sad.
Oh.
And so I did like 7 wounds to the Wolfen, right?
I definitely didn't get up and help my wife log into Microsoft Office.
And get a
You know
beer.
that's a twist off, right?
I don't want to twist stuff off. My hands are delicate.
He's not a working man.
It's all that lotion.
These aren't hands of a working man.
It is all the lotion. You're right.
My left hand is so smooth.
So I do 7 wounds to these Wolfenright, and they fail 6 saves.
Ooh, jeez.
6 3-up Storm Shield saves.
So basically, you were thankful this weekend for the dice gods.
I was
Just loving you.
I was, and the Commandos came in and wiped out a bunch of stuff. Anyway, it was a brutal game. So I won that one too, so I won the event, which was great. Had a really good time. And yeah, Tier 1 always hosts really great tournaments, so we're really lucky to have such a good store in town.
With such great turnouts pretty much every month. It's crazy.
It's really nice. And helps boost those ITC points too.
Oh yeah.
You can check out my list on BCP.
Sorry.
From November 23rd's event, Danny fielded his orcs. Kind of a nice list, kind of a further evolution of kind of that book for you there.
Yeah, I think I'm really getting to the meaty part of it. I made some revisions. Like I ran 3 tractor cannons, and I probably won't take those ever again.
No, great.
They just didn't do anything.
Well, aren't they really good against vehicles and things with fly? So if you didn't face a lot of that, I mean, it's kind of...
Yeah, I mean
they're decent against
I
other
mainly
stuff,
used
but-
them like the way I play is like an asshole. So when I've used them, it's being like
I can attest.
to lure my opponent into shooting at them. So like, I mean, I've said it before. If I spend more than 30 seconds explaining to you what a unit is, that's the unit I'm trying to get you to shoot at. And I feel tractor cannons fill that hole for me pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You just like to wedge those tractor cannons deep into that hole and
I'm not falling for your filth, Dave.
let it get filled.
They're blocky with sharp corners, just like
Yeah.
John likes. So, so my issue with them is this: they're really easy to kill, and they give up a point every time you kill one for your opponent for kill something. Whereas normally, I feel like the orc book is hard to kill an entire unit in one go. Like you really have to dedicate resources. Like even when Mark was able, my last round opponent was able to charge a unit of 30 boys with Wolfen, I had 6 left. And I was going to spend the 2 points and have them auto pass their leadership and then bring them all back on the next turn. Like, so he had to spend the 3 points to fight again with Honor the Chapter in order to get rid of them off the board. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten to kill that turn at all.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's fair.
I don't know. So you're really liking the orcs. Have you checked to see any standings? Like this is your second tournament in a row now with orcs, right?
yeah.
That's
So-
the first official IT. No, second official.
No,
IT.
second.
It's the second
Second.
one, yeah.
So have you checked to see whether you've moved up at all in the orc standings?
No. I mean, I'm sure I have. I just don't think I'm probably very far up there because
You're probably in first because prior to the codex coming out,
no.
to the codex,
No,
orcs were
Rich
terrible.
Kilton had 420 points or something like that with orcs beforehand. So he had a pretty decent tournament score in total
They
honesty.
weren't a bad index army.
No, I would say honestly, of the index armies, they were one of the better ones. Just nobody played them. Like,
Well,
nobody committed to 90 Storm Boys, 90 boys.
come on. So
very few
saying
people
they're
did.
good, they're the best of the index armies is like saying, hey, they won gold at the Special Olympics. It's just you're still.
Hey,
still
Dave,
not
everybody's a
Olympian.
winner at the Special Olympics.
You're at 23rd in orcs,
It's not
Danny.
true.
Hey, I'm top 25.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You able to pull that up? I think I passed you on overall rankings, John.
Oh, you did?
I don't know.
Because you played in one event.
2.
Oh,
Oh, he's up to 2 now?
John's got 2 events.
I do have 2 events.
John has a
He's probably
second
good.
place finish in one event.
I do.
Oh, he's probably still
that's
ahead of me then.
That's what's propping me up a little bit. As my work schedule starts kicking my ass and not letting me take the gaming days off.
Those jerks wanting you to
During
work.
this season,
Yeah.
During this season.
where you make 40% of your income. Yeah. Because you, yeah.
No, I think I was at like 2,500 or something. So you're probably still ahead of me, but I was happy to have moved up after my last tournament placing.
That's great, man.
No, it's all good. And it's like, yeah, it's just playing games, getting the reps in and doing, figuring out, oh, no matches. Oh.
So
You're no longer on the rankings.
John was booted.
No, I was talking about you.
Oh. Damn it.
Dave, you are currently with 2 events reported. 2,547 with 105.35 points.
That's pretty good out of like
I'll take
8,000
it.
people.
Now, I'm not going to be cocky, but knowing in advance I got 101 points for one of those events, I feel I might be a little ahead of you.
How many points do I have to make up in order to pass you?
So how many points did I say you had?
See, got like 100 and something points.
Man, this is like hardcore shilling right here.
Right
but
here.
This is the benefits of Best Coast pairings.
Oh,
And
yeah.
ITC is shit talking your friends. I'm 1,087, so I've dropped out of the top 1,000.
Wow.
With
What's your actual score?
225.2.
225 at 2 events
225.2.
reported? How the hell did you get so many points?
3 events reported.
3. What's your third event?
Shit, I don't know.
All right.
So
I demand a recount.
I remember Eldar, and then I remember Eldar, and then I remember nothing.
No, there's 3 Eldar events.
There must
Yeah, are you
there
thinking
must
of
have been
the
another
doubles
Eldar.
tournament, the doubles event?
No, that
That's
got
gone.
recanted.
Yeah,
They-
it was sad because
It's sad because that would have really bumped up my score hardcore.
No kidding.
But no, it's that got recounted. So I think it was like I got like a 2nd, a 9th, and a 5th or something. And they're like it's real fuckety. Like the way I jumped around.
5th is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm happy with
I
it.
took 5th.
Because I wasn't
So
there
now I
to play
need
my 5th spot.
Yeah, well,
That's perennially.
I would have crushed you if we'd have played, so it would have been fine.
I mean,
Still undefeated against you, John.
Custode bikers. Yeah, I struggle against custodians. It's any army,
Especially
with,
if I didn't play you in the first turn when I had no idea what I was doing.
any army with invulnerable saves and good armor. I generally struggle against, but I'm getting better. I'm casting Jinx a lot more. That helps a lot. But yeah, as for me, I didn't do anything.
That's not true.
I went to Los Angeles for a week. I watched.
That's awesome.
4 nights of professional wrestling at the Staples Center.
Also awesome.
Didn't you also go to a GW store while you were down there?
You know, I was going to. There
Oh,
was
this
one
is
in
the part where you
Glendale.
just lie and say you did.
But so the only day really I had free to travel out of downtown was Monday and Tuesday, which is the 2 days that GW store was closed. Otherwise, I would have.
That's fair.
But no, it was beautiful down there. Really, yeah, 1-bedroom apartment, which was like a third the size of my house. It was like $600,000. So I'm like, ooh, I'm not moving here anytime soon. And then like Hollywood Boulevard was just depressing and dirty and smelled like pee.
Did you check out Muscle Beach, that area?
I did.
So I tried to pop my shirt off and get in there and lift some weights, and my wife was too embarrassed.
How swole you were.
Well, I mean, I thought so. Well, you mean by swole, you mean swollen, right? Like bloated.
Oh, I thought he was meaning erect. Being around that many hot dudes.
Just stay strong. But,
Weird flex, but
a lie.
okay.
I finished Black Legion on the plane down and the plane back
nice.
up. So that was super cool, and I'm very sad that I'm now at a place where I don't have any more Black Legion stories to read.
Sorry, man.
So
We should read an Eisenhorn story.
which one? I've read them all.
I don't know.
Start on the next series.
Start in the next series, yeah. Maybe do like a Ravener.
I don't know.
Maybe do a Ravener.
We could do the.
We need to do the last Eisenhorn one.
We do need to do the last Eisenhorn one. I think we're booked up through February now.
Spoiler alert! I've started reading it, so anytime you're ready.
Okay.
So ADV just came out with a new book. Or it's up for pre-order, The Emperor's Spears. So I thought this was interesting. I don't know if you saw the limited edition. Comes with a chapter tactics card.
Yep.
What?
Yeah,
Yep.
and decals for
Fucking pay to win games. Good God.
Honestly, I thought about buying it just to find out what
That's
the chapter
really neat,
tactic
though.
is.
I went on today. I was like, "Oh, cool, dude. You know what? I'll splurge. I'll put the money down on this. I can afford to spoil myself a little bit." And then it was already all sold out in the U.S. by the time I looked at it.
Oh, I'm not
this morning.
surprised. I do want to know what basically it's...
What the chapter tactic is?
Yeah.
I heard
Ooh.
that it is exploding sixes to hit in close combat.
That makes sense. It's a
So,
little underwhelming for
extra-
Marines, but yeah.
Extra hits on sixes.
Yep, kind of like Goffs.
Okay.
But less heretical.
Right. It's like
I like that he created a chapter and gave it a tactic, and they were like, "Yeah, it sounds good. We'll go with that." And
well, I
then
don't know if
it's
he
like-
actually did that.
Well,
part,
but I mean,
yeah.
it's so he wrote a book, and they have now canon added an extra chapter tactic, which they don't have for certain things.
Sure.
So
Very few things. Like it's the only thing that's gotten a tactic or a special, like, race ability outside of a codex.
yeah,
As far as I'm aware.
you got Minotaurs, Carcadons.
They don't have rules.
Yeah, they don't. That's what I'm saying. Is they don't have rules. Red Scorpions.
Right?
All these.
And they also have really rad books about them. So
Yeah.
True.
yeah.
They like him.
Who knows what happens there? Keep that boy happy. Have him continue to write books about chaos for me.
Yeah, I was reading his blog today, and he said that he had written some League of Legends, like a book for League of Legends.
And you're just like, get the fuck back
I was
to
like,
Black
no.
Legion.
Finish talking about Abaddon first.
It's like, be better than George R.R. Martin. Tell me where this is going.
You're telling me we got to wait for the HBO series,
We do. Yeah.
the 13th Crusade, or something.
I think he probably already wrote it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well,
Well,
they're probably
make,
holding off
they
until
make models 3 years in advance. I'm sure the writers put out books 3 years in advance. too.
fingers crossed they're holding out till Abaddon steps through the Rubicon.
It becomes Primaris.
Whoa.
Primaris.
Oh, spoiler alert for the next segment, John. Come on.
Fingers crossed. Man, I love that shitty segue of just spoiling what we're talking about next. And then I started painting the Black Legion character from the Blackstone Fortress box,
Nice.
who is very super rad, but I've actually decided to paint him in pieces because although he has that cool, confident stride pose forward, the leg blocking the leg with the hammer blocking the leg with the cape blocking the leg and the hammer was just a little bit too much of a fuck you to make me want to
Coward.
to make me want to do. So
Okay,
yeah, but he
fair
looks
enough.
super rad. He goes together really well.
I've
excited
heard
to
they
get
all
it
go
painted up.
together really well.
Yeah, it's a really sweet
heard
kit. Yeah. How do we know? Who knows?
Yeah.
But
I mean, they know we got a set, so.
okay, yeah, we got a set. It's really rad. It's super cool.
I just again, like over the holidays, I haven't had time.
I almost called you. So when I ran out of models, Danny, I almost called you and said, "Hey, did you build the Blackstone Fortress stuff?"
No.
Because I'm thinking about doing some videos on
Do it.
Hit me up. No,
Yeah.
not anymore.
Do
I'm
it.
past that. I'm working on
Nope,
custodes
nope.
now.
You said I have it recorded.
Said I was thinking. Damn it, he's going to edit out the
I'm going
thinking
to
part.
edit the thinking part, so you're going to have to.
Nobody believes that anyway.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
that I'm going to edit. But no, so really what we're talking about today is there's Vigilus. We're going to kind of start a series talking about the armies and the people that are on Vigilus and kind of why they're there, because holy crap, guys, when it started like a year ago and they came out with what was the first box
Forgebane was
set?
the first one.
Forgebane was the first one I think they mentioned Vigilus, right?
No.
Wasn't
Forgebane's
Forgebane?
not-
No, you're right. Forgebane wasn't. The first one to mention Vigilus was Tooth and Claw?
yeah, Tooth
What,
and
wait,
Claw.
was Tooth
Yeah,
and
Tooth
Claw
and Claw.
before or after?
No, Kill Team. Kill Team.
Kill
is the
Team
first
was
one.
Vigilus.
Kill Team mentioned
There
it.
was something else before that, though.
The Dark Elder Codex mentions the planet. But there's just kind of like little trickles, and
yeah,
then
they've been Easter egging it like
they've
a
been Easter
motherfucker.
egging it like shit, and now all of a sudden it's this major conflict where we've had 4 box sets. We have a campaign.
It's
book
the
coming.
next Armageddon.
It's the next Armageddon.
I think it's fucking sexy as shit. I
Yeah.
prefer to think of it as the next Gathering Storm.
Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
So, kind of leaning hard into my newfound love of chaos and all that other fun. We're going to talk a little bit about the Black Legion. And kind of how they are as kind of an army, and kind of a little bit about how they came about and how they relate. Maybe a little bit about Vigilus, but yeah, probably mostly Black Legion, because man, they're fucking cool.
Dude, I'm the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one.
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure how you or your team stack up. No matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking, or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
Oh man, we're back.
So, can I just say
No.
that Vigilus is, I don't care, I'm going anyway. Vigilus is not just covered in Black Legion, John. It's covered in a ton of things that are much better than Black Legion. Just because you recently listened to an audiobook /Reddit
Excuse you, 2 audiobooks.
that have you just have this major chaos boner, which you almost drug me in. I don't know what happened, but I had in my cart a ton of demons, bloodletters to paint up, to
Yeah,
buy
it's
to
like
paint
I
up.
said, like man, I love this
And,
Black
and
Legion.
berserkers and just a full charge army, and I was like, "Oh my god, what am I doing? I don't have time
Buying
to
John
paint
Christmas.
this shit." John, what's happening here?
Dude, don't spoil it, Dave.
But no, what's great about it is like, yeah, you started getting like a little Chaos Hard On too.
I
And
didn't
we're
even read
sitting
the
there,
book.
And I'm like, man, I love Chaos Space Marines. I gotta do something with Chaos Space Marines and Black Legion. And Dave comes across on our group message, and he's like, "Hey, John, do you want to split the Wrath of Chaos box with the Khorne and the Slanesh demons?" And I'm like, no.
I'm glad you said no, because I mean,
But then I saw that harp player. That harp player is so
Yeah, but I don't
fucking
want
good.
Slanesh.
losing.
Ooh,
see, that's
we
the,
we
yeah.
might need to talk then because I want the Slanesh.
Oh,
Just for that harp player, because man, I was like, well, it looks okay. Oh, he's playing a harp. Oh, I guess that makes instruments. You know, same kind of like bass kind of imprint as the slug dude for Nurgle. You know, everyone gets a special herald. Holy shit, that's a person, not a harp.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I was like, that is amazing.
it's a person that's alive.
It's pretty
still.
cool. Yeah, with the sinews on their back, like stretched
Yeah.
out and just plucking them.
A
So
model.
good. I wonder what sound it makes.
I think it makes.
Ow! 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 Ow!
Yeah, it's literally just the guy.
Excuse me. Let me tune my harp by salting the strings.
But
Well, I can't
yeah.
play this until I've greased my hands up with lemon juice.
oh god, so
how
it
you
just
get
sounds
the
like
high
it just sounds
notes.
like a Redemptor dreadnought charging across the field, screaming in pain.
Dave, a Redemptor Dreadnought doesn't make it across the field.
Well, that's why it's in pain.
Depends whether or not your friends are bringing Baneblades or
Sounds
not.
just like a Redemptor Dreadnought being killed in one shot, turn 1. But no, Vigilus. This new kind
Sarah
of...
McLachlan music playing right now while Dave slowly.
Dude, I own like 3 Redemptors. I'm very sad, dude. I mean, I just want to 6-up Invulnerable. Is that so?
Just wait
so
till
hard to
chapter
ask?
approved. I have it on good authority that
you're a
repulsors are going down 250
Dave,
points.
we literally have an in with GW. We literally get review products, and you should know by this point that in is really shitty. It's like some
No,
kid.
it's one guy that says he knows a guy that knows a guy who snapped some pictures of the French copy. So
Dave, we literally know the guy still. You don't need to talk to the guy who knows the guy who knows the guy. Dave's just trying to keep this little punk band on the street still. They're like refusing to admit that we're with a label now.
we toured good in Portland. We're really big there.
It's the only place.
It's the only place
You
can
keep trying to
tour
take
big.
us to Canada, but we're big in Portland.
Back home.
Back home.
But yeah,
Country road.
But no, the Citrix Malorum, the giant gash in the galaxy.
Cicatrix maledictum.
Yeah, I was going to say Maledictum.
Whatever. I mean, your words. I always also forget what it's called. But yeah, the big gash in the galaxy.
I had to practice that. I
Right.
want you to
Gork's
know,
Maw.
like when we were talking about it,
So
for
many
like
times.
like 5 times, I said like sounded out, and after I did that, I had it. So
It's like they were going to name it the other thing, but then they found out something was slightly copyrightable about it, so they had to add some more vowels.
right, yeah, that's exactly right.
And they're like, what about now? And legal is just like thumbs up from the window. But no, so there is it's a giant stormy warp space that's impossible to cross pretty much.
Terran reality.
Yeah, I was gonna
Terror
say
in
it's a
reality.
giant opening into the Eye of Terror, isn't it?
No, there's
it
no
the
Eye
realm
of
of
Terror.
chaos?
Yeah, it's a realm
Realm
of
of
chaos. So there's impossible to cross, but there's kind of several spaces or planets where there's like stable space, like safe ports to call home and kind of ways to get through. And these planets are obviously now under giant attack by everyone trying to secure them,
I think it's just this one.
so they can get. This is the only way through
Yeah,
to the was it
to the other side. Yeah.
the
So the
Imperium
Imperium
Nihilus.
Yep.
So
I remember that one.
the way that I read it is like they're still they've still got a beacon, so you can kind of latch onto it and go, all right, that's where we need to go. We'll get through it
Right.
that way. You know, we start off at point A and hope that point B isn't overrun by Black Legion, Gene Stealer cult.
Well, I was going to
Eldar.
say at this point,
Orcs.
the sleepy little backwater forge world of Vigilus had a small gene stealer cult uprising,
The Pauper Princess.
which say that 10 times fast.
The Pauper Princess. Pauper Princess. Sorry, I won't actually do that.
Okay,
I
thank
was
you.
going to say, that's
Yeah.
only 2, you pussy. Come on.
Pauper Prince pussy.
Yeah.
Please don't pop the microphones with that. But no, so
Pop.
they had a small uprising quelled by the Mechanicus, but then in
Not
our
really, though.
Well, they did a shitty job because they had to call in the Space Wolves.
Right.
Oh, and the Space Wolves came down.
And then they could sniff out the corruption, but they also didn't do a good enough job because the Gene Stealer cult was still there.
So I
And then they call in knights, but then there's bad guy knights there. And then Eldar showed up, but Eldar fought with
Ultramarines.
oh yeah,
Ultramarines, that's right.
Ultramarines.
Yep.
And yeah, so
The
it's-
Ultramarines show up to lend a hand, and then the Eldar show up to from what
I'm sure
understand, the
there's-
Eldar showed up to stop the cult
Right.
for some reason, and the Ultramarines showed up and went, "Xenos, shoot him!"
And then
so
the Eldar came
the
back.
Eldar came back with more. Like, I'm gonna go get my big brother.
Like vengeance-wise, they're like, no,
Yeah.
fuck these guys. We were trying to help out.
Yeah, we were helping out.
yeah. So yeah, there's literally everyone on this planet, and now Black Legion's descended on it as well to capture the planet for.
Black Legion's
Don't forget about the
descending.
orcs, man.
I already
Yeah,
did.
the orcs-
I think my favorite
so-
thing about the orc story in this is they tried assaulting the cities, but the shields were too good.
So they just said,
So they just fucked off to the desert and went racing for a long time, and then some storms caused the shields to fall. So they're like, "Oh, well, shit. Guess we'll go assault this now."
Yeah, isn't the war boss's name Cruel Daka?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
just they put such a really high amount of thought into this particular setting. I'm really enjoying it. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm getting
Oh.
drawn in, and I'm not even fighting on the planet.
Cabal of the Black Heart is there as well.
Yeah, but they haven't.
Oh yeah, they're helping the Eldar.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
super friends in space. That's what all the Eldar are doing.
the enemy of my enemy is my sex abusing friend or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah,
Don't
sure.
you ever forget it.
Yeah,
That's the saying.
But yeah, it's
So
weird
it's-
how your homebrew Primaris chapter is on that.
I'm
planet
kind of
as
surprised
well.
it's not. Yeah, it just
I just want the first page of Fluff. It was like supported by the insert your chapter name here, and Dave like grabs out a Sharpie. He's like,
No, they would literally use the chapter, like the two arrows in the chapter, like in bold text, like the chapter keyword.
throughout this create your own adventure, you'll see
Yeah.
several faction keywords.
I would
Choose your own.
I would
Insert.
fucking
insert.
lose it if they were like, you know what? Dave was on Warhammer TV and he did really well. We'll throw him in a book. His Violent Dragoons, although they
Nice.
fucking butchered it like 16 times, so it'd be like the Violent Dapoons or whatever it was that they said.
Dave caused
Violent
a
poons.
Yeah.
temporary spike in Baneblade sales.
It wasn't that temporary. I just keep seeing them everywhere I go.
You keep taking credit for it too. 2 years
Freaking
later.
Peterson. It's 6 months later. Come on.
I mean, whatever. Time passes differently in the warp, man.
That's true. That's true. I'm only 7 in the warp. So
That's all I know. But yeah, no, my interest is obviously right now piqued by Black Legion, because for me, I've always kind of disliked Chaos and Chaos Space Marines. I thought they were very, oh, this is our good Space Marines here. These are Ultramarines. These guys are bad Space Marines. This guy has like a little pencil mustache. He twirls it and laughs. And then he's going to do this ceremony to summon a demon. And then he's going to laugh maniacally and take over the world.
that's how I imagine
Like
all
some
Chaos
really
Space
shitty
Marines are,
pinky in
actually.
the brain or something like that.
Nah, Dastardly and Muttley would be more like it.
Yeah, you know,
because they always fail.
You
know.
guys.
You know,
What?
and going
You
into
got a better analogy?
No, well, that's just not how I've always viewed Chaos Space
well, I mean,
Marines.
that's how I viewed them. There, kind of like from what I've
Yeah,
read and
just-
kind of things like that. Is just they're kind of like they turned traitor. They went and they attacked. They ran and hid in the Eye of Terror, and then they've just been going to be doing raids and stuff ever since.
Well, like,
So here's a thinking man's problem for you then, and I'll pose this to Danny because I know
I was going to say, why are you
John's gonna
posing
already-
it to this table?
So in 40K, it's really hard to tell who is the good guys, who's the bad guys. Who's to say that the Chaos Space Marines aren't actually doing, you know,
I mean, they
and actually aren't the good guys?
they
in this
think they're
scenario?
the good guys. Mm-hmm. Like they're trying. Well, they did, right?
Yeah.
Now they're like, well, we're just trying to keep living,
right.
and
I think it goes more than that because
Well, so-
Abaddon keeps attacking stuff.
Well, we'll get to that there. But Dan, you were going to say that's not how you've seen
so
them.
like as a player who's kind of grown up, like, or like at least like had my perceptions of Space Marines almost entirely shaped by the series of articles Index Astartes when they came out with those in White Dwarf. Like,
Yeah.
I would read those and you would feel sympathy for all these different chapters that like turn traitor, because like, you know, the Thousand Sons, like, you know, Magnus did nothing wrong, but like that is perpetuated in those articles, right? And the other point of view didn't actually like come to light really until the Heresy books came out.
Right.
And so like they were tragic, the Iron Warriors were tragic, like even like the Alpha Legion was tragic, like all of these different chapters that turned traitors, with the exception of like the Word Bearers, who were actual
total
mustache twirling like villains. Until I read the Word Bearer novels by Anthony Reynolds, which are rad novels. I love those books. Because they gave them personality, right? They weren't just like, they had like their own goals and ambitions, and like, yeah, their goal was to serve chaos, but it was also to like serve humanity, like by turning
To
them
chaos?
also to chaos. Yeah.
Oh.
By uniting humanity. Otherwise, it's going to get swallowed up by all the other bad things that go bump in the night.
And you know, that's something I loved, and that really drew me into the Dembski Bowden, Black Legion, and Talon of Horus books, was that they are presented to me in those books as they are not god worshippers, they are not mustache twirling villains. They were 9 legions who were lied to. They found out they were being lied to, got lied to again by someone else,
Sure.
got their ass kicked and had to run away, and then when they ran away they got trapped there and couldn't leave. See, that was news to me. Like, I always thought, and this is again my kind of ignorance, I always thought they came and went and they were like raiding out of the Eye of Terror the whole time, but they're trapped in the Eye.
It's super hard to get out.
Right.
You can only really get out through Cadia, which is why Cadia is so fortified.
Right. So
Was
Well,
so
sure.
fortified.
Fair.
now it's fortified by a mysterious asteroid field.
Right.
And a destroyed Blackstone.
And it's destroyed Blackstone Fortress. But yeah, so these, and now they're trying to survive. They're not like demon worshiper. Well, not all of them. Obviously, there's going to be some there, but for the by and large, they're not demon worshipping kind of like cultist people. They're just a group of weapons who were made for a purpose. They found out that purpose was bullshit, and they escaped, and now they're trapped, and they're like, okay, well, now I have to survive. And that's essentially what it is. And that, to me, was a huge hook.
Sure.
Because it's just survival at this point. And kind of everything's broken down. I think Talon of Horus is around the 31st millennium or so. I think 30th, 31st millennium
it's
is pretty...
right. It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell because, yeah, in the warp, time is...
So
Yeah.
malleable. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, like a minute feels like is actually like 75 years, and 75 years is actually only a week. And it's super
It's got to
weird.
be a good amount of time since the heresy. Like, I would say, yeah, 1,000 years is probably pretty accurate, because like it's after the rubric, right? Like, that's happened, so that was a big deal, because that didn't happen until like after the scouring and everything
Right.
else.
Just like 32, right? And 32 for the rubric.
I honestly don't
Yeah,
know. Like,
but-
I don't know.
But yeah, that happened. But so now you don't necessarily have legions anymore, and now I understand why we don't get codex, like Iron Warriors or codex things. Why don't we get legion specific stuff for the longest time?
Sure.
It's because there's literally no legions anymore. There's war bands. I'm sure around the demon primarchs, like larger followings,
right.
arise. But for the most part, you have small war bands trying to scavenge and survive.
Sure, and they may fall under the thrall of other warbands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like I'm sure Abaddon has some sway over, like other people's warbands and stuff like that, like
the Red
alliances and
Corsair
that
and stuff like that.
Sure.
Hey, you remember that time I gave you a Blackstone Fortress? Come with me to assault Cadia, please.
It's
Yeah.
like number 2 is like, I knew we should we'd regret taking that damn thing. I told you not to do it.
Told you not to do it.
But yeah, so we have now like a whole kind of lexicon of kind of like chaos followers and heroes and characters that really kind of flesh out this
Sure.
tragedy. The main one from these books here is Kion.
Yeah.
Iskander Kion, 1,000 son of huge power. I mean,
He's really powerful.
They talk about some of the psychic stuff he does, and man, it's ridiculous. and again, spoilers this whole time here, but there's a passage where he mind controls an entire base of people to try and kill one guy.
Yeah.
And, like he
Child's play.
Like, well, he's like they describe. He takes like 6 months, very slowly psychically imprinting on everyone on that base, and then one night, just everything goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just like huge amounts of power. And he's one of the first chosen to join this Black Legion. And he's kind of one of the original ones. I guess I'm getting a little ahead of myself here on Black Legion, because first off, we have to find Abaddon.
Sure, because he's missing. Like nobody knows.
Because he's missing.
So no, he was just a really shitty sculpt from the 90s.
No, he's perfection. That's why
He
he's
was
not
so
changed.
short he was hiding behind the other Marines.
But yeah, the Black Legion led by Abaddon is and I know it's Abaddon now and not Abaddon or any of the other weird pronunciations.
Abaddon?
Abaddon.
Yeah.
It's Abaddon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, I know you know.
We all knew.
We all do now. I've heard people argue about it.
And most people are dumb.
But at
so-
the start, the Talon of Horus is about kind of finding Abaddon and kind of these different war bands coming together and joining forces to try and steal the flagship of the Sons of Horus.
Right.
The
Vengeful Spirit.
The Vengeful Spirit. Thank you. Yeah. And kind of coming together there. It's
So the Sons of Horus didn't automatically become the Black Legion. The Black Legion evolved over time. Is that what you're saying?
So what happened is the Emperor's children, like the Sons of Horus formed, like they had a planet with a big city called Lupercalia or something.
Lupercalius, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the Emperor's children basically like blew it up and scattered the entirety of their legion,
Ah,
and then stole Horus's body.
Which Fabius Bile stole for Horus's body so he could clone him.
Yep.
And then
Well,
kind
because
of
he wanted to make him perfect.
right, and that's not a good situation. And a lot of people kind of knew that from different warbands, so that's why all these characters kind of came together. And the plan was to find Abaddon and be like, "Hey, we got to stop this from happening," and also steal the Vengeful Spirit, because if you're a ragtag warband group of people, you're going to want to have the biggest, baddest ship in the eye to do that.
Which is exactly what that ship is.
Yes. And so they find Horus. Things happen, but they find the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah.
And they find Abaddon. And really what turned me to the Black Legion was Kion, because he's such a well-written character in these books. And then also the portrayal of Abaddon in Talon of Horus.
Oh yeah,
is so well done. He is just, it almost reminds me of when you meet Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. Like, he's portraying himself not as this big war master general, like he's just some weird eccentric scavenger who keeps like a whole bunch of random things, wanders about the eye to random planets to go collect trinkets, and kind of hangs them all up in one room in the middle of his ship, and it's just a giant fucking mess everywhere. And yeah, his armor is described as being kind of like little bits of colors of every legion, which, thematically is because that's what the Black Legion is. But, in actuality, is just he's scavenged everything so much. And he's very meek almost.
Yeah.
When you first kind of meet him there. And then they find out what he's going to, he finds out that Horus is going to be reborn by Fabius Bile's hand. And that kind of causes him to round everyone together. And that's when you find out that he actually set the events in motion to bring everyone to him in order to kind of form this new legion. Of course, they didn't call themselves the Black Legion.
No.
They kind of, that comes later.
So I'm happy to hear, because I haven't read the books, obviously, and I'm looking forward to reading them at some point in time in the next 30 years. But
You think you have that long?
He's optimistic.
I'm hoping to have my nurse read them to me sometime in the next 30 years. So the way they make Abaddon appear in prior crusades, all the way up until the start of the 13th Black Crusade, pretty much every writing prior to that just really made him seem like kind of a bumbling, like you said, like dastard,
Mustache.
like
Like, dastardly style
he's
villain.
just like, I'll get you, Imperium, and and it's just I was like, this guy
Like
sucks.
the claw from Inspector Gadget.
Thank you. Yes, that's a great reference.
Yeah. Yeah, if you get that, you're in our target demographic.
Yeah, you are.
But no, the great thing about it is that, like,
Gargamel.
I think there's a line in one of those books which really hits home to me, where it's Kion that says, "You call it a Black Crusades. For us, it was just the first battle in the long war."
Right.
And I'm like, oh, right, because every single book is written from an imperial point of view. And like, if you read kind of Codex backgrounds, Codex kind of history, the Horus Heresy series from Forge World is very good at doing it, but it's all imperial perspective on things.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, it is the 13th Black Crusade. Because if the Imperium was like, no, they've just been fighting us for 10,000 years and they've won 13 times. You know, it doesn't sense to us like we defeated 12 of their attacks and the 13th will be coming soon. So like I said, it's not their term for it. There's like the 13th Black Crusade to them isn't a thing. It's just the long war.
Yeah, and they all accomplished something, right?
Yeah,
They seem to. Slightly. I
they
mean,
do.
I'm really excited
let's
about
see.
the third book.
what was it? 10 or 11 was when they took the Blackstone fortresses, right?
One of them. They took
Should go
Blackstone
back and
Fortresses.
listen to
sure
that
which one it
episode.
was.
Yeah.
There's one they got the demon, like a demon sword.
Yeah,
That was
Drachnian.
it. Drachnian.
So, which is the
Abaddon's cool, fluffy, like floppy sword thingy.
well? Have you read Master of Mankind?
You should get some
Part of
Viagra.
it. Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay.
I've read the spoiler part though.
So, like, Drachnien is a demon that was born of the first murder. So, like, it is
Like,
Ever.
okay, so interesting. All right.
like
And-
Cain and Abel style. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it couldn't have been Cain and Abel because humanity's hasn't been around as long as other stuff.
Well,
like
I mean,
that.
I'm just like I'm just
I
saying,
get what
yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
And they revisit that moment, right? The Emperor shows, like, one of his custodes, like what happened, like what actually happened to create this entity.
How did the Emperor show him that?
through psychic visions.
Yeah, because the Emperor was probably there, or he has no concept
the
of
Emperor.
space and time.
I meant how is in this story that one of the crusades, air quotes here, that they're doing has them getting this sword that was when the demon was formed. How was the Emperor still alive?
Oh,
to
so
show this to a
the
custodes?
demon was a demon,
right.
and then
Oh.
spoilers for Master of Mankind.
It-
he got
I figured you
banished,
meant like
right?
my ex-wife.
Yeah, he got the demon was banished
Right.
and somehow turned into a sword.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically like a crystallized demon, right? That's in the form of a sword.
I guess
so.
I
It's
meant-
murder, like concentrated in its purest form in the form of a sword.
Okay. I guess I meant how was the Emperor there in this particular book? The Emperor should have already been dead when they went to get
No,
the
this was
sword.
in a
That's-
Horus Heresy
No,
book.
Yeah, this
In-
was
in
in
a
a
Horus
Horus Heresy
Heresy
book. Yeah, Master of Mankind is a Horus Heresy book. It's about the war in the Webway, a little bit, mostly.
So yeah, they killed the demon in like M30. The demon turned into a sword. Abaddon grabbed the sword a couple thousand years later.
Got it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a bad sword. Holy crap, is it bad?
Yeah.
Like they talk about it in the books about how like they wish they never got that damn sword. How people can't stand to be around this sword.
Yep.
Like the crazy whispers it throws out. And then that's
Which must be hard for him, right?
Yeah. Oh, and that's not even talking about the talon of Horus, like the actual claw, which is described in the book as being physically painful for them to be around. Because like Abaddon, like he just has it chilling in a stasis field in this hold, and he turns the stasis field off, and it's just like instantly feels like all of them drop to their knees in pain because it's got like the blood of the Emperor and Sanguinius on it.
So only the blood of one person that's useful then.
Yes,
Ouch.
and the Emperor.
Sanguinus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like having these tools, and these are things, they're tools to achieve their goal, which at this point is to I believe just permanently escape the webway.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah,
webway.
yeah,
Eye of
the Eye
Terror.
of Terror.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. To live in real space. To kind of
To establish themselves in real space, yeah. Well, because so they get out and they fight, but they always have to retreat back into. They get driven back into it,
Right.
but because it's safe. I mean, it's moderately safe.
The
It's not
Imperium
perfectly
won't
safe.
follow them.
Right? Because
pretty
it's
much.
definitely less safe for the Imperium. You know.
And also the resources are very limited. Because I mean, the way it was described is like these demon worlds, like they're talking about food. Like, there's no agriculture in the Eye of Terror. Like, where do you grow crops?
Well, they don't have to grow crops. I mean, Space Marines don't need to eat. So Chaos Space Marines don't
Yeah, but
need
they're
to
all
eat
their
either.
servants do.
Yeah. So, like, they
Just
resort to cannibalism. They resort to all kinds of things to keep, because, like, it's the same thing because of Imperial Space Marines, is that, you know, there's only so many of them. They can't run an entire ship by themselves. That's what the cultists and the crew are for.
I mean,
And they need new recruits.
And they need new recruits and things like that to grow. And
the Imperium could run them now with all the Primaris stuff. You know,
with as many
They-
Primaris
yes,
lieutenants,
as
but
they
then who
have,
does all
just
the work?
lieutenants everywhere.
They're all
who,
free.
who does the work if the
But-
lieutenants are
but
the
I-
one being
I-
like, mow this? No, you mow this.
Well, yeah, just hire some Nurglings to run stuff for
Yeah.
you, man. Come on.
No, dude.
Little
Nurglings.
demons.
Oh, you got to read Lords of Silence then. And those things are annoying as shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played against them on the tabletop. They're annoying as shit.
They're true to the fluff.
Yeah.
8th edition's best troop choice.
Literally little shits.
But I think, and again, we're jumping around because this isn't necessarily book reviews or kind of
No.
talking about that there. The thing that's great about the Black Legion is it is not a successor chapter. Like, I often see, you know, formerly known as Sons of Horus.
Sure.
And it is absolutely not the case.
No, it's anybody that wants to join their cause.
Yeah. And just their cause is, again, it's like they
Decidedly less Sons of Horus than I would like, actually.
well, there's very few of them left. After
that's
that
what I mean.
Emperor's Children attacked, they're pretty much their big home base. And then the Emperor's Children banded together and hunted down the Sons of Horus.
Yep.
And specifically just aimed at them because they wanted to bring back Horus, but for them.
It's because Garvio Loken, you know, ran and hid and fought on the side of good instead of on the side of evil, right?
Also, Emperor's Children are dicks.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a given. What's his face? One of the Emperor children.
Lucius?
Lucius. No. Yeah, Lucius. Lucius. From,
The swordsman?
yeah.
The whip guy with all the scars.
Yeah. I mean, he hates the Sons of Horus because they're
Well, he made him lose, dude.
Well, it's not- I mean,
He hates losing.
yeah. Well, I mean, they also rescued them on a planet.
He's like,
you know,
Danny in Tabletop 4.
Danny doesn't mind losing.
Did you not see it was a Lucius special role? No, it's fine.
Oh, it's so accurate. It hurts. It cuts right to the bone.
It's a deep burn.
So I'm currently reading Horus Rising.
Okay.
So
Yeah, the
it's
first Horus Heresy.
the first
book.
Horus
Yeah.
Heresy book. And Lucius was on the planet with the other Emperor's children who
Mm-hmm.
rushed down to save the Blood Angels, who were already dead, basically.
Oh, on
It's like-
murder?
Yeah, on the planet Murder. And the Sons of Horus came and basically rescued them. So it started off with a bad, they started off on a bad foot already with some of these guys. So
Right.
It's not surprising that in order they still felt slighted and want to avenge themselves.
Right.
Loken sucker punched him.
Oh, yeah. He's a dick.
To be fair, Loken's awesome. So
Well, that's because you're supposed to think Loken is awesome.
Yeah. That's like watching the Captain America. Like,
is he not awesome?
well, you're
I'll
reading.
let you make that
Yeah,
decision.
you're
Yeah.
reading Horus Rising, not thinking like Loken is awesome. Is like watching Captain America, the first Avenger, and not thinking Captain America is pretty cool.
I mean, to be fair, I've always loved the Sons of Horus as, an evil faction. Not evil in
Sure.
the sense of evil, but just as the way that they were. They always appealed to me. The same way that pissing on fire hydrants appeals to space wolves, and jumping down from space and golden armor appeals to blood angels. So
What's the Black Legion saying, Danny? It's in Dishonor and Shame Undone,
Oh,
in-
man. I don't remember what the little
in Black
blurb
and
was.
Gold Reborn.
Yeah, that sounds right.
yeah,
I think it's something along those lines there. And then it's, again, not Sons of Horus, which, again, I thought was just Sons of Horus. They changed. They lost, so they changed because they didn't want to be associated with Horus. Again, this is kind of my assumption on this stuff. But no, it's just they are Black Legion now. And the nice thing, they didn't call themselves that. Their enemies called them that because of their black armor. And their armor was like black for the same reason the Death Watch was, I think, right? It's just all the color and stuff slowly burned away.
Well, and, like Kaon, like when he's doing stuff, he like...
Psychically burns the paint off.
yeah.
Yeah, he uses warp flame to burn them to be like reborn into this Black Legion.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, we've got coming soon to Vigilus is Black Legion, led by a fancy new jump pack guy.
Pointy Spear Boy.
Oh man, he is so cool.
The only thing I don't like about that model is the weird foot peg they have going down off of him to get him raised up. That is.
Oh, you mean the thing I'm going to make a blood splatter of?
Just on their previewed model, I'm like, what is that? How is that just not a tiny piece of clear plastic?
You know, like I'm trying to talk Danny out of his Chaos Black Legion models, and then they've released that sexy ass new Raptor guy, and I'm like, no, that'll pull him back.
No, if I do Chaos, I'm going to start fresh. Like I was going to do the Flawless Host, which are like a Slaneshi warband, and then I decided I don't really want to do those. Not because I don't like them, but they're really cool. But I want to start again. I want to do a Night Lord's Army really bad.
I really want to do another Tale of Gamers with, something with us and maybe a couple other guys up here and maybe listeners down there. And I really want to do a World Eaters and Corn Demon army.
That'd be fun, like a Demonkin kind of army.
Yeah, a mix of the two.
Sure.
Yeah. Bloodletters and Berserkers. Just all charge, no shooting. Some shooting, but no real shooting.
Yeah,
just
mostly fighting.
Just mostly, I'm gonna get in your face and
I'm going to punch you a bunch.
Yeah,
I'm going to have my friends laugh at the list suggestions I put out, even though that's super mean. I'm sure that one isn't too specific to your situation,
nope,
Dave.
not at all. Not at all.
I think my favorite thing
your
is
list.
Did you know? In our team chat, Dave puts down, "Hey, here's a corn list that I'm thinking of putting down," and he lists out this list, which could do with some work.
Yeah,
but like Joe's response is, "Why would I want to run a bad list?"
Joe is our resident renegade and heretic guy, and he runs just sometimes the most atrocious looking lists you've ever seen, just for fun. And
the irony.
I sent this list out, and I was like, Joe, I need you to run this list for me. And he's like, no, that's hot garbage. Not a chance.
When our fluffy narrative player who wants to run weird crap thinks your list is trash,
thinks your extremely fluffy list is just absolute hot garbage. Yeah. Well, it was a fluffy list. It fit narratively, and I was like, this is cool. I like it.
Hey, one more thing that sold me on the Black Legion is when they met an Oracle. And the Oracle started describing to them what the Imperium had become, because they've been stuck in the warp. They don't know what's going on.
This is my favorite part of the book.
And
the Imperium's in a bad place, actually. It's not anywhere.
And the reaction is the Emperor Children character laughs. Like doubles over laughing and says the word bearers won. And he was like, they're in rags and in the gutter and
worshiping gods,
but they won. It was like they made them, because if you look at the Imperium right now, an M41 is what the word bearers tried to make the Imperium an M30, and we're called traitors for.
Yeah.
So the irony of coming out and finding out that, it's weird thinking that ideologically a newly awoken Gulliman has more in common with the Black Legion than with the Ultramarines.
Oh yeah,
which is crazy. But yeah, that's an amazing part where it just when they find out what's been going on, and imagine that kick in the dick right there. You fight for what you believe in. You get kicked into the warp for what you believe in. And then everyone starts believing it. You're like, fuck you guys.
So that brings us back to Vigilus then, right?
Yeah. So Black Legion's one of the factions there. I really like them, so I want to talk about them.
They're heading there, from what it sounds like.
They're heading there.
So we get the campaign book in sometime in December, whenever that is. Then
hopefully we'll get that sometime soon here. But yeah, Vigilus Defiant is coming. Yep. It has. We've seen the new Marnus Calgar.
I think you mean Marnus Calgar.
Right, and I think a very important thing. Okay.
Marnus Calgar Prime.
Yeah,
it's like Optimus Prime.
No. No, Optimus,
but not as cool.
Optimus Prime was useful.
He's more like Rodimus.
He's taken. He took the Matrix of leadership from Gulliman. But there's two important. So we don't have much information on the background.
Like
our
darkest hour.
I'm more excited to kind of read the background parts of Vigilus to kind of see where the story's moving to. That's what I'm kind of most excited for. But the two bits I've taken away of what's being kind of previewed and leaked so far is...
You're a rules guy, Danny. That's why you're less excited by the fluff narrative stuff in the background.
I mean, I like reading the fluff stuff, and I always do. It's just like, I mean, the fluff stuff lasts me an hour. The game stuff lasts me forever.
Yeah. But here's the exciting part for me.
If you're like me, you can quote the fluff to anybody on the internet and be like, "No, you're wrong." Meh.
And then your mistake is
cool. Well, you're being a neckbeard.
It lasts me forever. What are you talking about?
Weird flex, but okay. But no. So the key parts of information I've taken away from what's being leaked right now is the Black Legion warlord is being sent down to the Vigilus, and he is being given 80 days to claim the planet. So there's a definite time frame for him to succeed, which tells me that when he doesn't succeed, people will come. More Black Legion will come. So that makes me hopeful.
They'll retreat
or Tyranids
and fail.
Yeah, that makes me hopeful for
Tyranids. Oh man,
because Gene Stealer cult's there.
That's smart,
Yeah.
Danny.
Yeah.
It's 80 days. Like the Chaos knows when the Tyranids are going to get there. They have to get what they need off the planet in 80 days. Otherwise, well, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's biofood.
Yep.
So I'm hopeful. This is major wish listing. That this means that an Abaddon model is coming, because I feel Abaddon will show up at the planet if this planet is truly as important as they've made it, where they've now focused the majority of releases for the past year on this one planet and one sector, then that would... So I've taken that away. I've already told myself in my head there's a new Abaddon coming for that.
Yeah.
Something else I took away was
Hold on. How upset would you be if they do a worldwide campaign like they did before for Gathering Storm, where they fought over the planets, and the end result is that if Chaos wins, new Abaddon Sculpt. If Chaos doesn't win, new Imperium Primarch. Abaddon Sculpt goes back on the shelf for another year.
I mean, it would still be coming. I mean, I'm not one of those whiny neckbeards on the internet who's like, well, you've had 4 sculpts of your model in 30 years. I've only had 1 in 20. Like, well, that's because that model is perfect. There's no need to make any changes to it. It's got little man syndrome. It's Lord Farquaad of the Eye of Terror.
He was like, when that model though was like actually
first released,
it was super good.
Sexy.
Yeah.
So sexy.
I have the White Dwarf from it still.
Good old Jess Goodwin, right?
Yeah.
And his classic Imperium designs that they're still around to this day. Azrael.
I'm fairly certain we each actually have the Abaddon Sculpt.
I think I have it somewhere. Or no, I think I gave it to one of our players together.
I gave
never start Chaos. Yeah.
I gave mine to my friend, and he cut it up and combined it with a plastic Terminator Lord and made like a real sized one that was like carrying a dead Blood Angel. It looks super freaking cool.
Time to ask for your model
Could have
back.
been Tyson then. Yeah.
No, it definitely wasn't Tyson.
Yeah. No, I got that when you said it looks really cool. So
the other part I took away was when the video talking about Marnus Calgar, about how he describes that he stepped into the Rubicon Primaris and was reborn, which tells me, they confirmed it during the 8th edition release that you could upgrade existing Marines to Primaris.
Ooh.
Internet, please. That was confirmed.
Yeah.
In multiple live streams.
So many
at
times
the start
now.
of 8th edition.
How did they do that? Regular Marines can't become Primaris. No, man. It was said. It's literally in all of the books. It's everywhere.
Also, I looked on GW's web store. There is 30 choices for Blood Angels HQs. There is 29 for Ultramarines. Blood Angel favoritism.
Dante's coming next. He'll finally be regular Space Marine size.
But to know there's a process, and I'm envisioning like some kind of like Necron-esque machine where you just step into it and it staples a couple organs and some tubes on and then kicks you out.
Nope.
I'm seeing that's how we get the bigger size Chaos models.
Have you ever seen the Venture Brothers?
A little.
You know how they cook the clones like in those little vats?
Oh,
that's how I imagine it is. Like,
sure.
See, now I totally pictured it more like a sarcophagus.
Like
you step into it, laying down, and then you're in there for like 60 days.
6 to 8 minutes.
And no.
They turn the little dial on the side.
It's not an easy.
Put him back.
It's
He's
not
not
an easy
quite
bake.
done yet.
It's not an easy bake Primaris.
Yeah, they're
Rubicon.
not quite done yet. Stick them in a little longer.
Slide them back through. No, I just the way I look at it is like it's one thing, you know. Like
Yeah.
Call made all these, but it was like I made these, but I didn't make them this way.
But I want to think Call made them with like an easy button where it just, how do I make myself Primaris? Step in the tank, press the big red button. Okay, I'm in the tank. What do I do? Press the big red button.
I told you that already.
I have no arms. They were I was taken off by by Tyranids.
So I think
Help me out,
Chaos
Call.
captures one of those. I hope. Again, personal head fantasy
I think there's
here.
only one. You know, I feel like there's only one to transform from regular Space Marine into.
I don't
Primary.
think so.
To be honest, yeah, there can only be one. That would be crazy.
There could be only one, Danny.
It's not the Highlander.
You don't know that.
All right. Anyway, so I don't think they will, and here's why.
Okay.
I think Chaos Marines are already more bloated than their Imperial cousins. Like the warp has changed them physically.
But not all of them, though. I don't feel like all of them have been warped as badly.
Have you seen the? I mean, you've seen the new Black Legion like Marines.
They're a
that
little
come with the
taller.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bigger, but
They're like significantly taller than a normal Space Marine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that.
Maybe that's because there's a Rubicon Primaris on the Blackstone Fortress.
Or maybe they just wanted to have Marines be really like
More imposing.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, like they
Better
wanted to have them
proportioned.
better proportioned. And so the Primaris Marines are already perfectly proportioned, right?
Oh, perfect.
They are. They're amazing models. Like they look so much better than normal Marines. But if they when they redo Chaos Marines, which they will at some point, like they need a new
Please
kit
start with
so
Berserkers.
bad. Yeah, both of them. Both those kits are super old.
Yeah,
Berserkers are, I think, the second.
not quite as old as the regular Chaos Marines, but yeah.
No, Berserkers are older.
Our plastic Berserkers are older than.
Yes, plastic Berserkers were either the second or third plastic kit for 40K, like or modern day plastic kit,
Mm-hmm. I think,
multi-part plastic kit.
Okay.
yeah, early 2000s.
Like the first one, yeah, like I would say
I could have sworn the actual Chaos plastic kit came out before. It was like a run during that whole time period.
for sure. I remember because I played Chaos Marines that you could only buy like the metal guys with plastic arms at that point in time. And then so they came out with the Tactical Marine kit and the Dark Eldar kit at the same time for the new box. And the very next kit they released was
Corn Berserkers for third
with,
edition.
with the Chaos book when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, they're due for a remodel.
I mean, they're like 20 years old, almost.
Well, I think the I think the CSM kit is the same age, right? Isn't it? Wasn't it?
It came out a year or two later.
I mean, Abaddon himself is actually one of the oldest kits. Is more than 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
And now kind of having him stand next to the new Araman, he looks kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you need to mount him on one of those special GW issue hero bases, so he's standing super tall, so he looks more imposing.
Back to Calgar Reborn.
Yeah. So anyway,
God, did you guys see those lieutenants he comes with?
Calgar.
So sexy.
You can't just
honor
call
guards, Dave.
You just can't call every new Primaris release a lieutenant.
Look, if they don't have the same stats
Okay.
as the Primaris lieutenant, I will actually be
Did you see
shocked.
the meme for him though?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
It was so good. Like
He is technically a lieutenant by modern army standards.
Yes.
But the Codex Astartes does not support that meme. The Calgar Reborn. At this point in the story, Calgar is just a torso and a head.
what? When?
He lost all his limbs.
Yeah, no, I'm
Swarmlord fucked
Yeah.
him up.
destroyed him.
He cut his
Wrecked
arms
his
off,
tits off.
cuts
He
his
was
legs
bionic.
off. He's literally now a torso and a head, and everything else is bionic.
Wait, when?
In the last books, I think the like an Attack on Ultramar, but yeah, he's just a torso and a head now.
I gotta read that.
Yeah, we got to find
That
it.
sounds great.
But
Because
yeah,
I definitely want to read a book where he gets chopped to pieces. 'Cause I hate
Swarmlord.
Calgar.
Swarmlord fucks him up. So, what if he invented like this cardboard box, wrote Rubicon Primaris on it,
Just put him in a new suit of
and just
armor,
got put in a bigger suit of armor with like lifts,
like platform shoes.
and they're like, "Look, Dad, I'm a Primaris now too."
That's nice, son. I'm happy for you.
Give him some crayons and put him at the kitty table still. It's fine.
Yeah.
Imagine how he feels, though. He's got to feel put out. He was like one of the most respected men in the entire Imperium, And then like
His dad finally gets home from
wakes up and
cigarettes.
It's like, yeah, right, from buying cigarettes 10,000 years ago. It was like, no, look at me. I'm the captain now.
And he's like, "Oh, Dad, you
Oh,
come
yeah.
back. I love you. This is great. And tell me about the Imperium." And Marnus tells him about the Imperium, and Roby's just like, "You fucking retard. What are you talking about?
What in the hell did you do?
At what point did that sound like something I would want?" So yeah, little Marnus is little man syndrome now. Literally, because he's just a torso.
Well, not anymore. He's been reborn,
Yeah.
supposedly.
I don't think he
maybe he
grew
has
back
arms and
legs.
They could, but you know,
don't know that.
okay.
They can grow them back, but
Well, they could grow one in a tank and attach it. Like they do that with people's hands and stuff all
Yeah.
the time.
What if they actually,
Wonder what happened to his
found a regular Primaris captain
cut off his arms and legs.
who had his whole torso and head destroyed by a Hive Fleet Leviathan and just borrowed the head, the arms, and the legs and attached them.
Marnus, you're just a torso and a head, but luckily we found a trooper who is just arms and legs.
It's like they
We found this
Futurama
captain in
him,
Gravis
like
who lost the Gravis part. It was just left with the legs.
his little
and
head in a
arms.
jar. They're feeding him some
Luckily
corn
he
at
was-
the top, like Futurama. Yeah.
Luckily, he was just a Primaris lieutenant, so we have plenty more of them around.
An unlimited amount.
Unlimited supply.
Can't wait for Codex Primaris Lieutenant.
You know, I don't think it's a bad thing to have a lot of those models, though.
I really don't.
Is that just me?
So
no.
okay, I would agree with you, except they're all the same weapon choices. If they were like different
They're-
weapons or something like that, I would be cooler with it.
They're slightly different. I mean,
I think
They all like I would say 9 out of 10 of them. Okay, one has an axe, one has a bolter.
one has a helmet in his hand.
Oh,
there's
shut up!
power-
That's not a
power
weapon.
sword.
All the rest have power swords.
I mean, anything's a weapon if you try hard enough, Danny. Come on.
It's a power helmet.
I feel they went, okay, guys, I need you to come up with a range of exclusive models. And everyone came out with all of their suggestions. And they're okay, I'm going to email all of you which one you're working on. And the board has like Primaris Lieutenant and like Demon of Nurgle. And then it has like Plague Host. And then it has like Eldar Phoenix Lord. And they're, okay, I'm going to email it all to you. And the guy types in the first list. He's like, okay, I want this guy to design this one. And he types in Primaris Lieutenant and accidentally hits send all instead of send to one. So
They only found out about it 6 months later.
So 6 months later, he's like, why the fuck do you guys have 25 different Primaris? Oh, I see what I did now.
My bad.
My bad. Well, I
All
guess
right.
we'll just release them all.
Could you give them all different things? Like give that one a power
Like,
sword.
well,
that one a power axe. That one the plasma pistol.
So he goes to email that, and then he
Oh,
types
you're
in
right.
power sword, and then he hits send all again.
Dark Angel Bro does have a plasma pistol.
Right. Blood Angel has a chain sword.
No, he doesn't.
I thought.
Nope. He is a weird
Does he-
blocky power sword.
Does he have nipple armor?
No.
Wait, is it weird
he does
blocky power sword with chains on one side?
No. It's like it looks like you know those
don't
Exacto.
get me wrong. I own all of them because I
You know that
collect this stuff
Exacto
like an
blade
idiot.
that you can break off the blades too?
Yeah.
How it has like that really
Oh.
sharp, like single-edged point. It has
Yeah.
that going on.
Like he stole it from a Tao anime.
It's like a really old school power sword that they used to have. Kind of.
Hold on. I'm looking it up because I could have sworn he had a chain sword.
I mean, swear
You can
all
give
you
him a
want.
helmet or not.
Well, you can do that with all of them. Yeah, you can.
I know.
No, you're right. It's just a regular power sword. It doesn't look like
Even
that,
that
though.
dorky Dark Angel's head where the guy's like grinning like weirdly.
Because he's fallen.
He knows. It's a knowing
I
smile.
know I just talked about the nuance of chaos and how I view them now, but those guys are just mustache twirling tits.
Hey, you be nice to Dark Angels.
Why?
Why?
It's not like Phil listens.
No, I like Dark Angels.
Oh,
okay.
you can like stuff
Yeah,
and we
I
can
mean-
still make fun of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
seriously.
90% of what we do.
Yeah.
All
Have you met me before? The scapegoat.
But I thought you said that we could like things and still make fun of them.
Oh,
Oh,
hey!
I should have had that Jeopardy music on cue.
No, you needed the sad trombone.
And that long second was great.
So we've got new Black Legion models. It looks like the Raptor
excuse you,
kit.
sir.
Sorry.
New Black Legion model.
No, there's models.
There might
are
be more.
three
I think there's Raptors
in
coming.
the Blackstone Fortress. I think you're right.
are
Actually,
brand new.
Shh. I can dream. No, there's
That's a good kit, by the way.
Black Legionnaires in the Blackstone
is.
Fortress. I need to
Warp
get
Talons are better in my opinion, but that's just
I need to get a box
Same kit.
of.
same kit.
I need to get a box of those for my what's the Emperor's Children guy called again? Shit, I
Lucius?
forget. No.
No,
Fabius.
no.
That's all I know. I'm out.
Still, does it
Angron?
start with an S?
Yeah, it's
No,
it's
Telemon.
Telemon.
Yeah, Telemon.
Telemon. I need to get a box of those for his bodyguard.
And he has like the Night Lord. That's also like part of his little thing.
So good.
Yeah, so that's what I want to use Hakon as or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Have you guys read the Red Tithe Karkadon book?
No, I really want to.
So, the Karkadons are portrayed really well, but unfortunately,
As Maori warriors.
no, they're not portrayed really as Maori warriors. I don't know where that really came from, but it's not something I like about the Karkadons, the people doing Karkadon stuff right now. So, but the Night Lords, which are in that, are just portrayed like absolute demonic monsters. So when John's telling me about Black Legion, who are just guys that want to survive, the Night Lords in this particular
Oh no, they're
book aren't-
monsters about it.
No, I mean,
I mean, they have mutations and
they're just the Night Lords. I was like, ugh, why would anybody want to play Night Lords?
Oh.
You know,
So, have you read the Night Lords books?
No,
Because
I
they're like
haven't.
the
I've-
opposite of that.
right? And so, like, as the bad guys in this story with the Karkadons, who I already liked, I was just like, oh, they're bumbling idiots here, and they were. There's a lot of stuff in that story where they're just like, it's like, oops. Oh, I guess they're getting away again. And I'm just like, come on.
Well, I mean, if they went right for them, they'd murder them instantly.
The Karkadons would murder the Night Lords?
No,
Yeah.
the Night Lords would murder them instantly.
No.
It's an army of Space Marine Batman.
Well, they're not all
except
that good.
they don't have the money, and their mom and dad totally are still alive. So
They have they
knockoff
have no
Batman.
money. They're all beggars.
Yeah.
They have to steal things to like keep their ammo stores like full.
But you know, it's good to hear that you can still get excited about chaos stuff and stuff that's happening.
And this is coming from me when I really disliked Chaos before. Like, I had no time for them. I thought they were dumb. They were stupid, like, you know, and it goes to show, like, you read a couple of these books, and if they're done well, man, they do their job and make you, like, want to drop a whole shitload of money on an army.
And that's why Games Workshop like pays to make these novels, because not only do the novels sell well, right?
Oh, yeah.
But they influence people's buying decisions heavily.
Right?
Like, the first thing I did, like, after, like, listening to those books was I didn't read the codex for rules and to see what powerful combos and stuff I would make. I did that later. But first thing I did was, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to need to make a Telemachon. I'm going to need to get some Warp Talons. I'm going to have to make a Iskandar Kion. I'm going to have to get, like, all of this different stuff. And then I got to the end of one book and it cut my shopping list in half. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like reading this book and it gets creatively flowing and gets you excited about something. And
Yep.
it's one of the reasons Black Library is so I think well funded, where you do now have like your Aaron Dembski Bodens, you have
Andy Clark.
Dan Abnett, you know, like really
Sure.
renowned
Yeah.
sci-fi authors and comic writers and kind of things brought in to just, you know, slap us with, hey, collect this. Hey, buy this. Hey, buy this.
Oh, yeah.
How cool is this story?
How
Look at
cool is
these
this
guys.
story?
I just made up this chapter. You should like them.
Yeah.
Ugh, I already like them.
The Last Stand on Vigilus is coming.
The book itself.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Last Stand on Vigilus. It's about
I-
a group of 12 Primaris lieutenants
So
alone
It's
against
a
the
retelling of the 300, but just 300
lieutenants.
Primaris lieutenants.
so they're gonna win then. All right. I've never seen 300. Is that how it works out?
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then
they
like,
win. They win,
The
Dave.
patriarch
no
comes
spoilers.
down and is like, you know, my hive fleets will blacken the skies.
Which patriarch?
I'm sorry.
And then
Yeah. So
and then the lieutenant's like, we'll talk to my boss and see what we can do about that.
but they look to each other. They're all lieutenants, and there were no bosses. They were just confused.
They were all the same rank.
What do we do? What do we do? So, okay, as you guys are listening to this today, it's Saturday. So on Monday, they released a short little story on the Warhammer community pages that if you haven't read, I completely recommend going back and reading. It's more fluff for Vigilus. It's about an assassin getting ready to take out the leader of the cult on Vigilus.
Ooh, did he forget he can't deep strike until turn 2 now?
No, he waited till turn
no,
two.
yeah, he
Yeah, he
definitely
totally waited. So it's
He was
just
setting up
amazing.
his shot.
And if you haven't read it and you don't want to have it spoiled for you, go ahead and fast forward approximately a minute, because I'll probably be done by then. If not,
I'm going to tell you now. You ready?
That's fine. So he's up there,
Fast
he's hiding in the
forward
rafters,
a minute.
and he puts himself in a trance
Now.
and is there for 2 weeks waiting for this gathering to happen. Draws his rifle, had it just lined up to start with, but he didn't even have to move. Takes a shot, and a Magus jumps in the way to stop the bullet from hitting the Patriarch. The Patriarch gets hit in the shoulder, falls down.
Blows off one of its arms.
Does it take off the arm?
Yeah, it takes off
One of the arms. So he's way weakened now. Everybody starts fighting him. He goes, "Oh crap! I missed.
How did I miss?
I can't believe I missed something terrible." So he gets down. He starts sprinting out of there. He's shooting. He's blowing up hybrids, and he gets to the doorway. And he gets just outside the doorway, and a big shape rises up, and it's a second Patriarch,
Dun dun dun.
which retcons everything that they ever wrote about a single Patriarch.
Right.
It's just,
So maybe that's just what the Imperium thought how it worked, right?
Yeah.
oh, I want to have two Patriarchs now. And it
Hell
made
yeah.
me go, man, those GSC that are coming, I can't wait to get those bikers and turn them into Rough Riders.
Oh man, I mean, I know this episode's going to turn all over the place.
It's all over the place. Vigilus is the episode.
but
We're talking about it.
But the X Games, Mountain Dew and Monster present Codex X Games, the cult. Looks amazing. The dirt
Dude.
bikes, the quads. You see the quad bike with the space
Yep.
helmet on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! When people hear new models are coming for Gene Stealer cults, at no point did I think sniper dirt bikes and dune buggies.
You know what?
It makes sense though, right?
It
Gene
does,
Stealer Cult has gotten more models now this year than Orcs did.
but not as many as Ultramarines.
But Orcs got like a
doesn't
shitload
count.
of
They were all
models
lieutenants.
like maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, if that they
Well,
got.
so did technically Gene Stealer.
Well, a
Cult, 'cause
couple
they're
years
only 2 years
ago,
really old.
They only got 6 new kits.
yeah,
yeah, but they didn't really exist prior to that.
No, right.
But a couple of years ago, Orcs got Gorkana, Morkana, dual kit, whatever, flash kits, a
Those-
new Pain Boy. They got the
nobody
Mech
would
Gun
use it.
kit.
That Pain Boy is sorry for the P there, but that Pain Boy model is terrible.
Yeah, it
Really?
is. The,
The one with
static
the,
sideways
the
pose with
claw, like, hey, I'm slicing
Yeah,
stuff with
it's not
my
my
fingers,
favorite.
like he's a evil
Yeah,
mad scientist.
but the other one, the Finecast one
Is
was
terrible.
Was really bad.
oh no, it's all terrible. Finecast is
And he's big. I like
Oh,
that
and
about him.
the Orcs got
They got Storm Boys.
Storm
they
Boys.
got that new Gazco model this year. He's coming to Vigilus, I hear.
Thank you, Dave. They
He's
got
going to go through the
they got-
Rubicon Primaris.
what's his name? Grok Face Ripper or whatever.
yeah. Who's
Oh,
now
the
named
Forge World
character.
guy, right?
No, the one from the
Plastic Warboss kit.
yeah, the one that came in the red WoW
the
box
old-
with
right.
the big squig.
Yeah.
So they got a ton of kits a few years ago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
but
I
it's
said, the fact I can run a Gene Stealer cult now, where I can have the cool Goliath trucks flanked
Right.
by armies of like dirt bikes,
Yeah.
like
very Mad
and-
Max rising out of the deep.
Yeah.
They still haven't even previewed the Primus, the Gunslinger Primus.
right.
Right.
Who might be
they-
a special
they-
character.
They previewed the model, but they haven't said his name. They haven't said anything about him yet. He's
Right.
just like, I'm just a gunslinger from the Wild
He
West.
looks awesome.
Oh, I could promise you I will be painting one of those up. So
You have the model who's trying to plan the attack of Warhammer
Oh
World.
yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
him too.
yeah, that's,
Which-
That guy, that's so good.
Which, man,
I mean-
God bless you, internet nerds, for seeing one tiny piece of a picture and relating it to a Google Maps search
I mean,
of one part of one small
not
English town
creepy
in
at all.
Nottingham. Hey, I know what that looks like from overhead.
you guys, you can go to Google Maps, but you're not going to see any new reveals by looking down on and zooming in as far as you can on satellite view or whatever, guys. So,
I
Maybe
think
people
that's how they
wanted to
got
see
the
the
Magnus
rhino.
leaks.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. The quality is about the same,
The
right?
quality is about the same as a Google Map satellite.
Man, those potato. By the way, the potato ads that they've been making for all.
Potato.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are
Oh,
those
Oh,
are
the potato. That's pretty
the
good.
camera that is a potato. Yeah.
So basically, everything they've been doing so far with this Vigilus storyline has just got me and John and Danny all pumped.
Yeah.
Super
Psyched.
hyped.
We have hype
It's-
like
it's-
crazy.
If GW could go ahead and send us that book, I don't know when it's going to release yet. Hopefully, sometime January, given their release schedule, right? So I mean, they haven't said when it's going to release
yeah.
yet. So
We'll see.
Maybe preview tail end of December.
That's what I hope. That's my hope, so that it'll be legal for LVO because I just want to play against it.
You want to
Yeah.
play against the Vigilus campaign stuff?
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the Gene Stealer Code.
Oh,
He also wants to play against.
honestly, I can't see them releasing it until right before February. Probably the weekend of it. I really feel like that will be the case because
man.
I'm just saying the Vigilus book. Hopefully that'll be out. By
I
the
think
start of
looking
the
at
new
how
year.
Kodak's releases have gone for the past 3 or 4, probably end of January preview end of December preview with a start of January release.
I mean, it's possible. I think they'll take a break, and so because if they release it that too soon, it ends up throwing off balance stuff. And they are actually very concerned about releasing stuff too soon to LVO. They have in the past done a blockade to not hose people at LVO because, let's be honest, the ITC guys and LVO really, when GW stepped down and stopped caring about the competitive side of the game, so, 4 or 5 years ago, ITC stepped up and started taking care of it. So they do what they can to actually support them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it not go up for pre-order until
However,
it was too late
as
to
much
play
as you want to
LVO.
look after something as a business,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to hold off a 6-figure release to please a bunch of people in Vegas.
And they'll keep the rules open to the very last second.
Yeah.
So
they
if it
lock it a
gets-
week beforehand. So
I mean, a week beforehand.
That
is
is pretty
crazy.
last
Yeah,
second
I'm
for a
just
fully
saying
painted tournament
that if-
army.
if they're doing that, yeah. I don't know. I'd like to see it beforehand. It's not that it's going to change anything in my list, but I just
I'm just hyped y'all are going to have to face Calgar Reborn.
Maybe I'll play him. Who knows?
I don't know if you know this or not, but I got plenty of time to change my list, and I can paint an Ultramarine like a motherfucker. So he might be in my list actually.
Well, he'll be purple.
Assuming that they release him. I mean,
Ultra
so they haven't
purple
actually
Marines.
said when
Ultra purple
his
Marines.
release is. So yeah, of course he'll be purple.
Yeah. It'd be called Carnius Malgar. Lord of the Dragoons.
Carnal Malgar. That's the best name.
Carnal Malgar. I want you to invent in your own personal army fluff a disappointed father for Carnal.
I don't have to invent that. I had one of those so many years.
I've had a lot of practice at that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
We're
nice,
receiving
Dave.
that.
But yeah, no, I mean, hopefully they get on their stuff. Their Battle Force boxes have all been completely previewed now. Which,
Yeah.
well, look at them. They're all on. They're all on
did.
Vigilus.
I
They're all on Vigilus,
Except for Necrons
yeah.
that we know of, right?
And
that we know of.
I looked.
Right,
and
that's fair.
I can't. And this is just me. And they're great starter boxes, but I can't get hyped for an Eldar box that's a Wraith Knight and
So I heard a
a Wraith
rumor.
Knight.
I saw a picture of an Eldar list based on these French leaks, and they're like, yeah, this Eldar army is 300 to 400 points cheaper. And it was mostly Wraith Lords with one Wraith Knight and some Wraith Guard. Like, it was a mostly Wraith army. So I
hope
kind of
for
have a
point
feeling
drops.
a lot of that stuff is going to drop.
Because no one's taking Wraith Knights now.
No, they're bad
They're bad.
for their points.
Well, yeah, I mean,
There's no reason a model with no invulnerable save should cost as much as a Knight with one,
No.
with very similar statistics.
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm happy to not see them on the table. So
As much jokes as I've made about Primaris Lieutenant, Space Marines do get a new model that is neither an Ultramarine or a Primaris Lieutenant in their battle box.
yes,
Yeah.
and yeah. Well, there's
Well,
two different battle boxes for Primaris.
It
I'm sorry,
depends.
the important box, not the terrible box.
So the Ultramarine box.
The Imperial Fist box.
Oh yeah. So I'm not sure whether they're getting a whole
No bias.
new model or whether it's just an upgrade kit. But one of the things they're doing is giving power fists to sergeants,
Interesting.
which is interesting.
That's a 3-attack power fist.
Yeah.
That is pretty good for not a lot of points.
Is it a 3-attack power fist?
Yeah,
Sergeant. Oh no,
Primaris
yeah, you're right.
sergeants
1,
have
2, 3.
three.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 attacks.
Man, so if I could take Dark Angel Sergeants with power fists, and I could easily buff them with +1 attack.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if they didn't move, you don't get the benefit because it's only in shooting.
So that's
don't get to
why
reroll
you-
one.
Good combo, Dave.
As soon as it started to come out of my mouth, I was like, nope, that's wrong. Shouldn't have said that.
I
I
could make
didn't
him
move
strength 10 too.
Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't move in the combat phase, therefore I get +1 to hit with my gun fist.
Damn it. That's Marnius. Prime Marnius.
Gonna have to
Calgon.
recount your
He
He does
ITC
have
points,
gun
Dave.
fists.
How did Calgar get so big? Ancient Chinese secret, Calgar, take us away.
Robot arms.
Just
Robot legs.
I don't know. But the Imperial Fist upgrade kit looks like it's going to have a
Kick
lot
pants.
of really kick-ass shit in it. Jeez. So the Intercessors and the Hellblasters, both in that squad, have what look like targeters on their backpack.
Oh, that's cool.
On one model in each squad, like maybe a new Auspex type scan thing or something. Something for Primaris. There's something in that box that have some fancy rules that I've got to get my hands on.
So,
and they've sold out. So they're not even out yet, and pre-orders are sold out.
what?
So our regular guy, Mini Stomp, our online friend,
Your online hookup.
yeah. So mostly online hookup. I was asking him about it. All right, what's the actual prices? I know you know when the release is and everything else. And he's like, okay, yeah. So these are the actual prices, which I'm not going to reveal because I said I wouldn't. But he said you need to order them now if you're going to order them because the stock on these boxes are almost gone. And then he messaged me later, and he had tried to add more to his order, and GW said they were out.
Ouch.
So I was like, I wish I'd said get me that, but I figured I would wait and see whether I get it for Christmas.
I need to message
But
that guy.
here comes disappointing Dave again because none of my kids are going to buy me that.
Oh,
I could treat it like the Christmas story. I could put it in every magazine. I could take pictures of it to their phones. Actually, nobody reads magazines, but just like get up, just see pictures of it. When Emily wakes up, she'll see a picture of this on her phone. When Jess gets up, when she's brushing her teeth, there'll be pictures of it on the mirror. They'd still be like, "We got you a shoe," and I'd be like, "Thanks, family."
here's another tie.
shoes? No. Here we go. Going back to Calgar here, White Dwarf 97 stated that a skirmish against a minor Tyranid hive fleet, Persis, in 976 M41, Calgar lost all 4 limbs as well as large areas of body tissues in his left eye. So it wasn't even Kraken. It was a little baby bitch fleet.
Yeah, but he wasn't a captain then. He was just a sergeant way back in issue 97.
No other sources ever repeated the notion that most of the rest of his body is now augmatic.
Oh, I see. Okay, because
So, yeah.
because they kind of like have said, if you're that like
You're getting
hurt,
turned.
yeah, they're throwing you into a dreadnot.
No, he didn't want to know
They
that a
didn't-
minor little bitch fleet
They didn't have
cut
dreadnoughts
off
back
all
then.
his arms and legs.
Fucking Termagant cut him off.
Not even a Hormigaunt, just a Termagant.
Oh, it was a Termagant. He knocked him over and sat on him and shot at his limbs with the flesh borer.
It was a meiotic
died.
spore in close combat. Didn't even blow up, just slowly stroked his limbs off.
God.
So yeah, it was several decades ago that became true.
Carnal Malgar.
Oh God. So, there you go.
Hey, Vigilus.
Yeah, Vigilus. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm so excited. Yeah.
I'm really
I was asking
excited,
our
though.
listeners. I wasn't actually asking you, John.
Oh, I
Are you
was
excited?
answering for
I
our
can-
listeners.
I can tell you.
Are you excited? There you go. See, they can
Yeah.
answer there now.
Yep. Thanks, we heard you.
Saturday morning, some people in their cars are going to be screaming, just, yeah, I'm excited.
Sunday afternoon, some Australians are going to be bitching that we release on Saturday morning. We'll be back.
Fear consumed my every waking moment. It wasn't rational, but there it was, ruining my life. Then one day I came across a book called How to Be a Cheating Asshole. From the very first chapter, it helped me to confront my fear head on. In a world filled with easy answers and cheap solutions, How to Be a Cheating Asshole showed me that the way out of my despair was to use loaded dice and not declare what I'm rolling. Its message was so strong and so real that it put me on the road to a happier, more fulfilling life. And it made my fear a part of my past.
Stop by your local retailer now for a copy of How to Be a Cheating Asshole.
And we're back. Whew. Hey, let's do a little housekeeping. We got some stuff coming up.
What?
So,
I don't know. My notes say this part is blank.
hey, while trying to fix the RSS feed problem, by the way, and the reason the last episode was not, or the episode before was not on iTunes, was according to Libsyn or our podcast hosting support, I used an illegal character in the title.
Did you put a space on it or something?
I don't fucking know, but I'm just
Don't
like,
do that anymore.
All right, so I'm not going to do that anymore.
Hey,
So
so you can't use the B.
so now all B's will be P's, just to make sure it gets in there right. But in order to kind of test it out, I did release an old role-playing session that I had recorded about a year ago.
Yeah, it was wrong kind of role playing.
From the An Only War campaign that we put together, which was well received by the couple hundred guys who pulled it down in the 30 minutes before I deleted it.
It's still up.
Wow. Well, that many people downloaded it?
Yeah. So I had to delete it pretty quickly because it turns out we have a bandwidth limit every month, and uploading an 8-track 3-hour audio drama, I should say, kind of ate up all of our bandwidth. So after kind of reaching out to some of the people, and people kind of reaching out and being like, hey, where'd it go? I'm going to be editing that down to about, I think, 5 different segments.
Nice.
Okay.
Some of them might be kind of awkwardly cut,
Just
and
like
weirdly
me.
done. But like I said, I think I'm going to start releasing those in the off weeks. Speaking of off weeks, we might not have any in December. I don't know. We might record a bunch this month. That's our Christmas gift to you.
We're currently
Generous.
we're
We're
currently
generous.
set to have an off week next week. However, we have decided to do a special Christmas episode.
We will be doing a Christmas episode where we will be telling our favorite 40K Christmas stories.
Oh, I got a good one.
Oh, I've got a good one too. Yeah.
We've all watched The Grinch Does Christmas. Danny, come on.
It's actually the Primaris Lieutenant who stole Christmas.
Oh,
Oh my
For
God.
this-
Are all of our Christmas stories going to be based around Primaris lieutenants? Because I literally
I mean, shit, all their special miniatures are. What can our stories be?
I'm currently busy writing one that is, very something of the lieutenant. So
either that or night haunts.
yeah.
Yeah, the night haunt before Christmas.
And all through the
They
graveyard.
say that his power sword grew 3 sizes that day.
Now you're just mixing genres.
'Twas the night before Chaos Miss, and all through the warp.
All the creatures were, and then it's
And
just
some of
certain
them,
nameless
and
screaming.
some were blurp blorp.
So we're gonna work on that. So the next official episode, which is due to release December 23rd, is most likely going to be us bullshitting about 40K Christmas stories.
Yep. The next official episode will be actually the week before that, and then we'll do the Christmas episode, and
Oh
then
my
you'll
god!
get.
Why are we recording so much?
I don't know. And then you get a new year,
We're gluttons for punishment.
new punishment. Yeah.
New Year, new punishment. Where
right
we'll
before New
probably
Year's.
right at New Year's.
Oh, we're gonna be wasted for the New Year's podcast.
Yeah, actually, I think we'll
Ooh.
probably will drink on the New Year's
Yeah.
podcast.
We should do a live stream. Just
I'm off the next day, so
I'm down
totally
for
good
that.
with that.
When's
Yeah.
our release date on?
it's the let's see, the 20. I don't know. Hold on.
Man, the fun of listening to people's schedule.
Pulling up.
This
their
is the
phones.
best part of radio.
So we've got so this one releases on December 1st, and then we have a release on the 15th,
And the
we'll do
29th.
Christmas episode on the 22nd, and the
doesn't it release on the
29th.
second?
22nd. The first to 20. Oh no, yeah, no, it's the
Yeah.
first to 15th and the 29th.
Yeah,
It's gonna
with
be
a
our releases
22nd
this month.
Christmas episode.
Saturday is the first.
Yeah, dude,
yeah.
that's
No,
the team
Saturday
tournament
is the
coming up.
Sorry, I'm
Team
losing
tournament
my
coming
mind
up.
here.
All right,
in
so
a week.
today is the first.
Yeah, today. I mean,
2 weeks from now, we'll be releasing a regular episode, probably
on the 15th.
on the 15th, focused, I think, a little bit more on
Can we focus
Vigilus.
on Vigilus?
Vigilus, I think, yeah,
Oh,
Vigilus is what
all
we're going
right.
to focus on. The 22nd, we're going to be releasing our favorite 40K Christmas stories. Yes, they will be plagiarized, and yes, they will be pretty funny.
And if you're lucky,
Well,
Dave might
hopefully
write a
they'll be
song
funny.
for you.
Hopefully.
Oh, Dave.
Ooh, Dave, yeah. And then the 29th,
I've been in the recording studio already.
this,
so.
this,
Oh God!
the 29th, this isn't finalized, but we may try and live stream over YouTube or Twitch on the 29th.
Yeah.
Oh,
and we can just spend a Saturday morning drinking.
Oh yeah, because our
over live
regular
I like that.
record date is Christmas Eve. So
Yeah, our regular record
I
date
love
is
you guys,
Christmas
but I
Eve.
don't want to be here.
So yeah, let's
Christmas
drink and live stream Saturday afternoon on the 29th.
Let's do it at Danny's house.
Oh, that's a Saturday.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Let's talk about it.
Oh,
we'll
it's
figure
the-
something out.
It's the but we could do it.
that
after
might be
that.
the end of the month event.
It is.
It is.
We could do it after that.
I would be down for that.
Okay, yeah, let's do it after that.
I can be really tired and drunk.
So we'll be.
So can I. I'm excited for that week.
Oh,
All right.
especially
I've
if
got
I'm
that whole
drinking
week
4
off.
Loco.
Oh, I'm so excited. Hey, let's do some shout outs.
Yeah, let's do some shout outs. Yeah. So just to recap again, now that we've scheduled a live on air.
And if you've listened, thank you.
Today, this is the episode. Thank you very much. The 15th is our next regular episode. It's going to be about Vigilus, the background, a little bit more about the world. 22nd is a special Christmas episode. And late night Alaska, 29th. So early Sunday morning, UK. Sunday afternoon, Australia, Japan, Taiwan area. We'll probably live stream and drink because we're not meeting up Christmas Day or
join us.
Christmas Eve or Boxing Day. So join us for that. And then looking at it, we'll probably release something next week anyway. I mean, we're doing 4 out of 5 weeks. Might as well do 5. It's a Christmas
Let's just
miracle.
knock it right out of the
Dude,
park.
Send me
Our
a fucking dollar.
Our gift to you is the 5 mob rules of Christmas
5 mob rules of Christmas.
on the first.
Each less coherent than the one before.
On the first mob rules of Christmas, John gave to me. He wouldn't shut up about Black Legion.
But they're so fucking good. They're so fucking good. But yeah, let's do some
shout outs. Shout outs.
Shout outs. Wait, yeah, okay. Let's see if I can pull something up here.
All right, pull it up. What do you got?
It's not.
Gross.
Okay. Sure.
Sorry.
Cool.
Cassini.
Go.
I'm waiting. So I want to. I just got in our dice, our LVO dice.
Oh, nice.
With just on Chessex, the order time was super fast, super inexpensive. They did amazing on the detail on them.
Excited kids.
Excited kids, thank you. We got 200 made for me and my partner Cody.
That's a lot.
And not when you're giving them away,
Yeah, that's fair.
or you're using nothing but hurricane bolters and aggressors. So. Anyway, thanks, Chessex. You guys did a great job. And I hate John. That was a shout out. Danny, you got anything you want to... Oh,
Yeah, give me a
Jesus,
second.
I didn't know that the kids would start screaming at Danny.
That's the fan club. This is
Is
the
that
part
the
that's-
fan club?
Yeah,
is that like the Beatles fan club?
Yeah.
So the shout out that I have is I've been listening to back episodes of the Exterminatus podcast, which is
You gotta stop shouting out other podcasts.
why
I don't know, because
I
they
hope
don't
they
shout
shout
out
us.
Do they? Okay.
No, I want them to.
I want them to also.
So yeah, hey, free publicity, right? So anyway, these guys are based in Arizona. It definitely gives kind of a cool insight on their local scene. It also has Big Dick Don Hoosen on it, so always a super big fan of his
He's
weird
got
ass
big
list.
dick energy.
He really does. Yeah, you're
You're
really slow on
the-
those
on the beeping. You're
those,
the
on those
worst
dick
at this.
bleeps.
Hey, unlike you, I'm slow in the dick.
Okay, I
don't know
can't
what
even
that-
be mad.
I
I'm
don't
just
even know
impressed.
what that means. It's just okay. So Exterminatus podcast.
Yep. So give it
Who
a
else
listen.
who else is on that?
I'm trying to remember.
You're
Let's
just
see.
hitting buttons.
I don't know. I'll give a better
I got some wood at
shout
that.
out next time.
Ugh.
Train
Worst.
Josh was scared. Don't put that on when he's around.
Josh just ran screaming from the podcast. John, what about you? What do you got? Anything to shout out? Any good stuff that has happened to you lately? Places
No.
you've been, things that have touched you in the right spot, made you feel good about yourself?
I went to Cholos, which is a really sweet Mexican restaurant in downtown LA that's been open since 1923. That's pretty rad.
So,
Shout out to Mexican restaurant in
what
LA.
is Cholos
Nice.
famous for?
They had really good chimichangas, which is literally all I order at Mexican places because I'm a monster.
No, you
Well-
just like American food. It's cool, dude.
Well, when you grew up in Canada, you gotta get it where you can get it. So.
No. Shout out for everyone for putting up with my like little schoolgirling obsession over Black Legion. My constant Twitter posts of it.
So
And
just to me and John. Then.
yeah.
I mean Danny. Sorry.
Also, thank you when you like my stupid memes and things I put up because I feel like I have a spare 10 minutes in the bathroom for Photoshop. And I make really stupid little things on my phone.
It's amazing the amount of work that you get done in 10 minutes.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm still waiting for that T-shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
The T-shirt logo.
We need that for Vegas, so
We do.
get on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna go back to my logo designs.
So then one final thing to wrap up then is the winner of the Mob Rules XL handle giveaway.
The big dick energy. Thank you.
Wow. All right. So I want to thank everybody who watched the video and liked and left a comment and asked questions that I was able to answer. And so without further ado,
That wasn't long enough. I was dancing and then
Hold
it
on.
ended.
So without further ado, we actually had enough people interested that I'm giving away 2. John, I'll be giving away 2 of those handles. So
Wow.
when you hear your name,
Have they been used for their proper purpose by you?
yeah, they're used handles.
Are they
John.
new in box or have they been slightly
I mean,
used?
they've been in a box.
Yikes.
What is that sound?
Just type-
By completely random draw, and by that I mean Danny drew names from a hat for me. We've got Christopher Warden and Tristan Gray. So I know how to get a hold of you guys. I will actually let you know, but I won't let you know until you listen to this episode. So yeah. Congratulations, guys. Stay tuned because next year we're probably going to be starting back up the new year, new unit. Get the gray off the table and get everything painted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think January we're going to focus hard on I like your Taylor Gamers thing. I think
That'd
we
be
should
cool.
all
I
start
would
new
really like
armies
to do
next
that.
January.
I think we should wait until after LVO for that.
That seems like a good idea.
Sure, fair.
John's like, well,
You'll be
it
working
doesn't
on-
matter to me. I
You
mean, why
still
can't we
won't have
just
your
start in
Black Legion built
January?
by then, so I'm fine. We'll be good.
Let's talk about the fact you want to wait until I have the baby in the house.
You're gonna
which
be on paternity leave.
I have a baby
It
due
works out
February
for you.
2nd, and Dave wants to wait to start a painting competition, army building
No, John,
competition.
you'll have
till
plenty of time.
February.
You're on paternity leave
Yeah,
for
dude,
like
you're-
12 weeks, or
And you're going to
something.
be staying up all night anyway. What else are you
Yeah.
going to do?
That's fair. I might as well use my baby as a
I mean,
paint pot.
I know you will because I'm going to be coming over pounding on that baby's window to keep waking it up.
Thank God you said window.
It's like, are we doing phrasing? Like,
God. All right, so this has been Mob Rules. We're going to prison. Thanks for joining us.
You're
just
going
you.
to prison. Just you.
You're the one that released it. That's
That's fair. Well, I've been John.
I've been Dave.
and I've been Danny.